They're on the field side. They're not near us, yes. South Park is across the way by the scoreboard.
Welcome to the William Matar Thursday Night Lights, live on MyTV Buffalo, presented by the Final Outlet.
Week number 3 of our Thursday Night Lights schedule brings us to historic Robert Rich Sr. All-High Stadium, and it's a pair of early season unbeatens as 2-0 Iroquois squares off with 2-0 South Park. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth, great to be alongside the coach Scott Pilkey. I'm Brian Trippa, and Scott, these are two teams, dare I say it, this early in the year, a potential playoff preview tonight. We're really high on both these programs.
Yeah, and both of these coaches are two of the best in Western New York. You're going to see a real chess match tonight.
And excellent quarterbacks on both sides. Let's start with Iroquois and dive in. Justice Kleitz, a 3-year starter at quarterback, continues to evolve. Now he has the keys to the offense. 758 passing yards on the season, 8 touchdowns. You see a great week last week. as Justice Kleitz leads this offense, a polished passer here in Western New York. He's a true throwing threat. Meanwhile, for South Park, the senior quarterback, Jazeer Parsons, a dual threat quarterback. It goes back to the roots of the Sparks program. They're back to the ground game this year. A great tandem in the backfield. He himself averaging 12 yards per carry on the season. That sets up tonight's The Vinyl Outlet. Keys to the game, The Vinyl Outlet, Western New York's best porch, deck, and fence installations.
Well, for Iroquois, it's take what the defense gives you with a great quarterback like that, and the discipline is about being who they are and playing their game. On South Park, it's establish the run, be fast and physical on defense.
Iroquois and South Park getting together for the first time since 2017. Both teams 2-0, two dominating wins early this season. A gorgeous night for high school football here in Buffalo. This is the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlet. Kickoff is coming your way in just a moment. Rob Bazanka in his 8th season as the head coach at Iroquois, 47-17 all-time as head coach. He's got a great quarterback this year and off to a 2-0 start here in 2024. Tim Delaney, meanwhile, in his 17th season, a state champion head coach for South Park. A win tonight, win number 100 on the line in his prolific head coaching career. Should be a good one, Iroquois and South Park, as we're set for the Costanzo's kickoff, brought to you by Costanzo's Bakery. Teams that combined 4-0 early in this season, and Iroquois receives the opening kickoff on a gorgeous Thursday night for high school football right off the bat. Gavin Dundon, excellent field position, tripped up at the 45-yard line, as we'll take a look at the Red Hawks offense. As we talked about in the pregame, propelled by the junior quarterback Justice Kleitz, now in his 3rd year as the starter.
You're going to have some great, take a look at last week. He had an amazing game, and this year he's throwing 46 of 67 for 738 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Those numbers do all of the talking. Justice Kleitz, he talked about 368 last week, 370 in the opener, 4 touchdown passes in each of the first 2 games for Iroquois. Both of these teams had dominating wins to start the season. Quickly fires to the outside, on target for a 6-yard pickup to what has been his favorite target so far this season. Nick Skutnik makes his team-leading 17th catch. An immediate tackle, though, made on the outside by Martez Quarles. Here's a look at the rest of that offense around Kleitz. It is a dangerous trio of wide receivers. This is a group that has explosive play ability.
And a great O-line that has good feet and great technique.
So across midfield here on their opening possession, those starting lineups are brought to you by the law office of William Mattar. 2nd and 4, a quick completion and a first down all the way down to the 40-yard line. Right back to Dundon, who had the long kick return to set up this offense. Now the starting lineup for that Sparks defense, which is on its heels here early, something it has not been early in this 2024 campaign. Adam Nunez is a terrific player on both sides of the football. He's the leader of that defense in the secondary. A secondary that will be tested tonight, on display early, the prolific passing ability of Justice Kleitz.
And when you see him get rid of the football as quickly as he does, you're going to see the tempo of the mentality of this team as well. It's quick, it's crisp, very well disciplined.
After an Interstate Batteries first down and 10, already into Sparks territory. First meeting between these two programs since 2017, and going to the outside, a little bump down the sideline, and the flag does fly as the pass was intended for their big play threat, Sam Donovan. Contact on the outside with Donald Porter, who was in coverage. And we'll hear from our referee, Michael Binkowski, for the first time.
Holding. Defense, number 21.
You can hear Porter did not like the call, a senior in a secondary that will certainly be tested against an air attack tonight that you typically don't see in Western New York, although they're probably familiar with it. In fact, their head coach, Tim Delaney, said they are familiar with it going against Noah Willoughby the last couple of years in practice.
Yeah, they had one of the best quarterbacks in the state last year, and if you're seeing right now, Coach Delaney's very aggressive. He's bringing heat and going press coverage, cover one in the back, so you're going to see this kind of physicality all night long.
Another Interstate Batteries first down, this time from the 27-yard line, and into the hands of Dundon again. Electric with the football, a dozen yards, and an Interstate Batteries first down inside the Just Pizza delivery zone.
Nice little changeup on the draw play there. They're seeing pressure up the middle early. So he steps back, steps in. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, it was a little quick funnel screen. And, you're going to see this stuff all night, getting the ball out of his hands that quickly.
And you talked about the athleticism of that offensive line in the starting lineups. You could see them getting out and paving a way for Dundon, who had great blocking downfield. So on the precipice here on the opening possession, Iroquois with great field position to start and going right down the field. First time tonight on the ground, and Richard Donahue is tripped up after a short game by the linebacker Jashawn Robinson. Jashawn Robinson, number 11 and 10, Jashad Robinson, pair of seniors at linebacker for the Sparks here against this very dangerous Redhawks offense. Second down and 9 from the 16. And this is an offense that likes to use tempo. They waste no time. Kleitz back to the air, flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, and that ball is incomplete. Couple of defenders and receivers in the area. TJ Domino had a shot at that football. Dangerous pass and in and out of the hands of his target.
Well, you're seeing the inside pressure come up, gets him out of the pocket. He's better in the pocket than he is on the run typically during the season. But he had a guy wide open. Great job by the defense, though, competing for the football.
It actually looked like Domino, getting a look at that replay, maybe batted it away from his own teammate. That was the intended target near the pylon. So now a third down and 9 for the Redhawks inside the Just Pizza delivery zone. Fire over the middle, in and out of the hands of Domino, who went down to the turf, unable to make the catch, and an early decision here for Rob Pizzanka.
Nice little adjustment there. They went to a 3-man front rather than the 4 that they were playing in the very beginning of the series, and drop another guy back. Great job on that adjustment by Coach Delaney and staff. You see a nice little angle. Number 51 is somebody you're going to be seeing all day. He can get his hands up a little bit more. He's a big, tall guy. Get up in the passing lane to the quarterback. Good work.
Junior Domino would have had a first down had he come up with that football. Now a 4th down and 9 for the Redhawks. Can the Sparks defense come up with a stand here on this opening possession? Razzle dazzle. And it's blown up in the backfield. That play was blown up from the start. Jashad Robinson makes the stop on Nick Skutnik. And it is the Sparks defense bending but not breaking here on the first possession of the game.
And that's the intention of bringing a lot of pressure and going man. You're going to give up some yards, but not the big play, and that's exactly what they were able to do here. Again, the little misdirection, but with this kind of speed and pursuit that they have from the South Park, they were able to bring it right down from behind. Great work.
Are you surprised by that play call with a quarterback of the talent of Kleitz? They're on a 4th down and 9.
Anything that takes him out of his quick release game is probably not going to work against the speed of South Park.
Well, it's a South Park defense that has only allowed 235 total yards over its first 2 games this season. Quickly trying to get the ball into the hands of one of their elite playmakers. It is Nunez down the sideline, right off the bat. He takes it to the house. Oh, man, warp speed.
You know, you've been talking about, I talked to Coach Delaney, and he said, look, we like to run the ball, but a little flare pass is also considered a run. And for something to go like that for about 80 yards, that's showing you the power that South Park has at all times.
Adam Nunez makes his mark on the opening play with the touchdown.
What an impressive burst by this guy.
5 rushing touchdowns, his first receiving touchdown. Again, just a little flare out of the backfield. He's been over 100 yards on the ground in each of his first 2 games. And what an answer, and how quickly things have turned here as Iroquois went right down the field, stalled out inside the Just Pizza delivery zone. And now Parsons on the roll, fires to the back of the end zone, incomplete. And the 2-point conversion attempt is no good, but South Park has a 6-0 lead thanks to the electrifying speed of number 7 senior Adam Nunez. Tim Delaney there looking for a call or perhaps even a catch there, diving down in the back of the end zone. However, he still has to like this start for his team. It's 6-0 South Park. Here early, you're watching the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlets. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Babsha's Pierogi. Appreciate their support here. Thursday Night Lights off to a blistering start. The 4.5 speed of Adam Nunez taking it 84 yards to the end zone on the little pass from Jazeer Parsons. First play of the game for the South Park Sparks offense. And it's a 6-0 Sparks lead, 9:03 to play here in the opening quarter. Another Costanzo's kickoff coming here. A slow approach, and that is big 6'2" Manny Parker, one of the offensive linemen, kicking it away, and another terrific return in good field position again, and coming up here for Iroquois. So they'll start this time at the 43-yard line. Tyler Urmson scooped that knuckling football up. And again, great field position for a Red Hawks offense that went right down the field but stalled out inside the red zone first time out there.
I think it's important for them to get right back to who they are. Again, you know, we talked about at the beginning of the game, we got to be who we are. That misdirection play is not going to work against this type of speed.
Especially with a quarterback in which head coach Rob Pizzanka said is a special talent, an X factor on the field. And the ball's going to be in his hands a lot tonight for Domino over the middle. He hangs on despite the hard collision with Jashawn Robinson. It's a 2-yard pickup. And there again, getting it out of his hands quickly, knowing that this defense for the Sparks is going to be bringing
they're not
pressure.
going to give you the big play, so you got to nickel and dime it down the field the way they did, and then you got to figure out in the red zone what you're going to do to get it in the end zone.
Great catch. It appeared by Domino. Hung on to that football as he went down to the turf now at the 46-yard line. It's a 2nd down and 8. Kleitz, the 3-year starter at quarterback, just trying to get the ball into the hands of his playmakers early. Gavin Dundon runs into a brick wall, and South Park waiting for that play again. Jashawn Robinson right in the heart of the defense, making another big stop.
Well, if you're Iroquois right now, you got to be looking at the middle blitz that's been coming on a pretty regular basis, whether it's a delayed blitz or it's an intended blitz. And some type of crossing pattern is going to be able to hit you up in here pretty soon, because they've been trying to get the seams and the out routes. But the speed of South Park is pretty impressive so far on both sides of the ball.
Donahue in the backfield with Kleitz here. It's a 3rd down and 9 in the blink of an eye. See if he stays in to add some extra protection. He does, but Kleitz is drilled from behind. His arm was coming forward. It's an incomplete pass. Absolutely pummeled despite that extra blocker staying in. And the South Park blitz once again gets home.
And this is what, you know, Coach Delaney said, is that they're going to bring heat on every down, because a great quarterback you can't give time to. And this is the bottom line, is that they brought heat from the backside. They got to him. Unfortunately, we do not have the same. It was coming in the forward motion, but we don't have the replay benefit, so it's incomplete on the field.
Daryl Collins, number 15, coming off the end, a senior who his head coach, Tim Delaney, said is stepping up and playing well in a big role for that South Park defense that has been impenetrable so far here early this season. A big reason for their 2-0 start. And the punt will be down at the 28-yard line. And that's where the South Park offense comes right back out onto the field after that 3-and-out forced by their defense. Jazir Parsons, the senior here at quarterback, leads the South Park offense, a transfer who is a dual threat guy. Adam Nunez, big numbers as well. But this is a guy who's off to a terrific start this season.
Well, what Coach Delaney said as well, we're predominantly a run-first team. When we have to pass it, we have the person that can do it. If he gets out on the perimeter and he doesn't have anything open, he has carte blanche to pull the ball down and run it himself.
He said he felt like his team's flying under the radar a little bit coming into the season. Losing a guy like Noah Willoughby, this is a true measuring stick for both of these teams tonight. A big set of games coming up for South Park here with Pioneer on the horizon, but 2-0 teams early. You feel like a potential playoff matchup. Really going to learn something about them tonight.
Yeah, and the coaches, you can already see the teams are both crisp. When the quarterback for Iroquois is getting the ball out of his hands, it looks like they've been practicing it for years, which they have been. 3 straight now for this young man. Now, let's see what South Park does here coming out.
Nunez took it 84 yards to the house on the first play of the game. Darrell Collins, a true dual threat in the backfield, not just with the legs of Parsons, but Nunez and Collins, a nice tandem for South Park. And he scampers towards the outside and picks up 6 yards as we get a look at that South Park offense tonight. Our starting lineups are brought to you by the law office of William Matar. Nunez and Collins, as I just talked about. The receivers will add a little spark as well, no pun intended, and then a big, and I mean a big offensive line here in Western New York.
Yeah, watch number 60, Demarius Hood. He's one of the best offensive linemen in Western New York.
But this time eaten up on the play, and Nunez swallowed in right at the line of scrimmage. A couple of white jerseys in there leading the charge. Number 52, Alex Schiffauer, and we'll take a look at that Iroquois defense. Schiffauer in the middle playing a part of that tonight. And obviously Donahue, Hamilton Kennedy, McGoldrick, and Urmson going to have their hands full up front with that very big offensive front we were just talking about.
Well, that's a nice job stopping. You see the counter play, you're going to see the inside zone, you're going to see the ISO, and you're going to see power all night. That's what their 4 primary runs and short little passes to get out on the edge.
Here it's a 3rd down and 3. Nunez back to the right side, and Nunez gets the corner again. There he goes. Oh, he can fly. Stays on his feet. It's another house call. Nunez with his 2nd touchdown just across the goal line in time.
This is the 2nd time they've gone to basically the same zone. There's a quick little flare pass the first time. This time they got out on the perimeter with a lead blocker, what we used to call boss, and it's an outside guy who gets up on the strong safety, and once he gets that seam, there's no touching the kid right now. And everybody was taking good angles of pursuit as well.
84 yards and 62 yards for Adam Nunez. First time the 2-point try was unsuccessful, so it's a 12-0 lead for South Park, and that time that came on a 3rd down and 3. And those are those big plays, the big plays that Iroquois was hoping to avoid with some of the upper echelon talent South Park has here tonight. Parsons fires back across his body, and it's intercepted at the goal line. So still a 12-0 game. Jumping up and making the catch, Zach Larson with the interception. But it's all Adam Nunez here early for South Park. 2 long touchdowns, 4.5 speed. Puts on the Jets there. Stays in bounds, takes it to the house. 12-0 South Park in front here on the law office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlets. Prior to the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Vinyl Outlet Defense Play of the Game. The Vinyl Outlet, Western New York's best porch, deck, and fence installations. In the blink of an eye, South Park exploding for a 12-0 lead. Over 100 total yards for Adam Nunez already here in this game. The explosive play around the outside, the catch and run on the first drive, 84 yards, and this time 62 yards. Again, a 3rd and 3. He's able to get to the edge, and he takes it all the way for a touchdown.
Well, you know, Iroquois is a base 4-3, cover 2, cover 4 defense, and it's perfect to take away the inside runs, which you've seen South Park be so successful with in the last couple of weeks. But so far, they have not been able to get to their edge and pursue. And I don't see Coach Delaney changing this anytime soon.
No, Tim Delaney told me yesterday, Nunez is a physical runner, but he knows how to get to the outside. I would say that's an understatement so far.
I think so. He's already there.
Absolutely can fly. Parker kicks it away, angled towards the sideline. It skips out of bounds, so illegal procedure penalty as the kickoff goes out of bounds. And again, Iroquois with good field position to start, but they have not been able to capitalize so far.
You know, I think they got to get back to just what they do, but maybe at this point you might want to slow it down a little bit. You know, huddle up, make some adjustments, because if you keep turning the ball over every 3 downs or maybe 5 or 6 downs and keep giving South Park the opportunity just to keep scoring on you like that, it's going to be a very long night.
Well, Rob Pizzonka's team, the first couple of weeks, the first quarter has been a settle-in quarter for them, but in the second quarter through 2 games this season, outscoring teams 36-0, but they have not been in a hole quite like this because Tim Delaney's team has come ready to play.
And one thing you know about Tim Delaney, he's going to stick with what works until you stop him. He's going to come right out and tell you, you know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go press, I'm going to bring heat, and we're going to put pressure on your quarterback. And if he can beat us with that, then, you know, hey, that's why it's called football. That's why it's called coaching.
Decided to accept the penalty, kickoff from the 35-yard line. And right into the shoe tops again this time of Tyler Ermson. Shakes off one tackler and drags a man with him out to the 43-yard line. And that's where Iroquois again will start with the football. 1st down and 10.
And they've had good field position in all 3 of their starting drives, but they got to change things up a little bit because they're getting beat at the line of scrimmage, and their wide receivers are having trouble getting off the line of scrimmage.
And that was one of the things that we expected from that South Park defense, not only the pressure, but being out on these receivers, pressing them tight at the line of scrimmage, making life difficult with that physicality and size. Justice Kleitz, this time flush to his left, throws on the run and on target. Catch made. Another monster play in this game. Nick Skutnik is dragged down at the 13-yard line. They connect, take it for nearly 50 yards, and you can see the big numbers this season coming into tonight's game for Skutnik. He'll add to those totals. Already his 2nd catch of this game inside the Just Pizza delivery zone with an Interstate Batteries 1st down.
Great adjustment as that middle linebacker vacates. Great movement by the quarterback, getting out of the pocket, letting his wide receiver come across. Big time play. Excellent job. Nice adjustment by the coaches.
Must-have answer here for Iroquois, it feels like, with 5:40 to play in the opening quarter. Kleitz, Dundon on his feet and brought down at the 6. And just hanging on for dear life there, making the tackle Seville Lucas.
You know, up to this game, 12 receptions, 245 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's another major talent that they have. You know, Coach said, I have 4 great guys that can take it to the zone. We just saw 2 of them that he's got to start, that he's been relying on. 2 others coming up here.
We have a penalty on the play as well after the whistle.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 22. Half the distance. 1st down.
I missed the penalty. It was back behind the line of scrimmage, and it goes against South Park, Chris Schuster. So it's now a 1st down and goal from the 4-yard line. You know what he said about Dundon? Tough to bring down. That was evidenced there as he's just hanging on.
And while you do great with a great aggressive defensive front who's going to hit the quarterback, you got to be smart about it too.
And Iroquois barreling to the goal line. Richard Donahue, it's a touchdown.
Nice. That's exactly what we were talking about that Iroquois had to do, is that come right back down with some big plays and and let them know that we can compete with South Park. Good work there.
His first touchdown of the season. It felt like, albeit still 5 minutes to play in the first quarter, a must answer for Iroquois, and they do it pretty easily.
Yeah, and as far as this young man, he's a junior, but he's been in this situation for 3 straight years. The poise and him moving away and out of the pressure to let things open up give a lot to that young man, and he took a hit after he delivered his second big pass of the day.
The point after is no good. You saw the kicker get bumped down on the play. So no good on the point after try. And with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, this play right here brings this to a 1-score game.
Great inside run, just tough putting his head down, lowering his shoulder. That's the way you do it down in the red zone.
Donahue, 6 foot, 205 pounds, and they're replacing Trevor Barry, who was so talented in the backfield last year. That's good physical running down near the goal line.
Yeah, Trevor was. We did a game with Trevor playing last year. He's just such a physical guy. He was just a lot of fun to watch. And the nice part is here, you just saw that Iroquois is more than just a quick pass game. They're able to move the quarterback out of the pocket, give their wide receivers some time, and that if you can't cover them all day out of press, that's going to open up some stuff. Nice adjustments by both coaches. Like I said to you earlier, this could be a really great chess match tonight.
Skutnik, who missed the point after to kick it away, now a 12-6 game. Ton of action already here in this opening quarter. Brian Tripp along with the coach, Scott Pilkey. So glad you're with us for week 3 of high school football action here on the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlet from historic All-High Stadium. Pooch kick will be taken at the 30-yard line by Robinson, and Robinson still going. His knee was not down, once again using his hand to keep balance. There is a flag on the near side of the field. Tackle made at the 33. We'll check on the marker.
Nice job by freshman Jackson Quaser coming down and making that tackle.
Holding number 19 on the return team, 10 yards from the end of the play.
The one thing you don't want to see while you're playing so well as South Park is right now, you don't want to see the stupid penalties take you out of your momentum.
It feels like a game too, Scott, where there's going to be punch, counter punch, punch, counter punch. You're going to have to respond. There's going to be some adversity at some point during this game.
Well, so far it's a tale of field position so far, but it hasn't hurt South Park because they've been able to go 80 yards and 60-something yards in the last 2 plays that they've had. But you can't keep having silly little penalties like this. It could eat up your momentum.
Both Collins and Nunez here start in the backfield with Parsons. It's a first down and 10, but as you said, backed up to the 23-yard line. Nunez trying the left side this time, slipped 1 tackle and could not get away. Richard Donahue blew that play up in the backfield, got some help from the rest of that Red Hawks defense. That time ready for Nunez.
Did a nice job by having the outside DN keep containment. They tried to run a little power by pulling the backside guard up inside. And while you've got the inside is being covered by a very big offensive line, the outside linebacker or DN came in and really made a nice job there. Nice tackle.
Evan Falters Jr. at Mike linebacker, 18 tackles on this season. He'll have his hands full tonight with this rushing attack from South Park. On a second down and 10. Collins in motion. Parsons rolls that way, uses his legs to move the pocket, fires towards the sideline, incomplete. Back behind Jashawn Robinson, and now a third down and 10 for the Sparks.
Well, you're starting to see some nice adjustments. It took about 3 series for Iroquois to play in. Right now, you're seeing the good outside leverage of the outside backers, and the shell has actually come down of their cover 2 to be more of a run support. It started out about 12 yards deep. It's now about 10, or it could even be inside the 10 from the line of scrimmage.
I would think even on a 3rd down and 10, you need to be weary of a potential run play here.
Yeah, well, heels on 10 and come up and stop whatever they do with the run game.
The Adam Nunez show so far, scoring on the first 2 possessions, false start in the backfield. It seemed like some illegal motion flags do fly and nowhere to go for Parsons. It's an illegal shift against South
Illegal
Park.
shift.
Play was not blown dead. And Michael Binkowski will sort this out, assuming this will be declined. Punting unit already coming on for South Park.
That decline, counted down, 4th down.
That's a really good answer by the Red Hawks defense after getting gashed the first 2 times.
Well, they made great adjustments. They didn't have 4-3 in the box. They had 4-2 in the box. They walked the linebacker out just to make sure that their perimeter had a little bit more support on either side. And once you took away that perimeter in an incomplete pass and a couple penalties, they did a nice job. They needed that one.
Punt was nearly blocked, but it is shanked towards the sideline. And in a game of field position, Iroquois this time will start deep inside Sparks territory. Great pressure coming in on that punt unit. Well, Jordan Hamilton Kennedy, number 94, got in there.
Great job from the outside.
Yeah, it was Larson 7, beg your pardon.
Anything to rush these guys is what you got to do. That's really nice work. Disciplined football by Iroquois versus explosive football by South Park right now, and that's the balance of the game.
There is Zach Larson, senior, leading tackler on the team. Nearly came up with a big play on special teams. 2nd team all-league selection last season. Now his offense goes back to work, looking for its first lead of the game. Richard Donahue totes the rock, maybe a yard or 2, scampering along the sideline.
Well, it's good to see the change up a little bit with, not just a quick pass, but you've got to grind it down here, own the clock a little bit, and really take some time to score another and bring it back to, basically 0-0, hopefully by the end of the quarter for them.
Daryl Collins, number 15 on that Sparks defense, made the play. He's one of the leaders of that defense as they look for another stop deep inside their own territory here, as Iroquois, after the 3-and-out forced by its defense, quickly an opportunity to respond once again. Kleitz gets it out of his hands to Skutnik, and they're waiting for it this time. And it's Nunez coming up with the play on the defensive side of the football. It's a 2-yard loss.
Again, the late developing plays, these guys can see it and adjust to it, and this is just great pursuit by number 7. Adam Nunez is doing it on both sides of the ball, like you said.
75 tackles last year, led the team. In fact, his head coach, Tim Delaney, made a point yesterday to me. Yeah, the offense and all the glamour of being the standout on the offensive side. He said, as a defensive player, watch number 7 closely tonight. So now, just like that, a 3rd down and 11 for Iroquois. Kleitz again to the outside, throwing short of the sticks. TJ Domino, 3 defenders there waiting for him after a 3-yard pickup. 4th down and a long 8 coming up for Iroquois, and I suspect once again they'll go for it.
Nice job by Seville Lucas coming up, making a tackle in open field. That's one of the things you can see about this defense is that they're reading, reacting, and then breaking down and making great tackles. Fundamental football is key on a play like that. Nice job.
Jashawn Robinson was there if Lucas could not finish off the tackle. It's a 4th down and 8, and a timeout taken by Rob Pitzanka and Iroquois. As this, again, great field position as their defense makes the stop, the punt shanked towards the sideline. They look to capitalize, and so far the South Park defense has had the answer deep inside their own end tonight.
Well, I think the adjustment that you're seeing is that they're not blitzing down in their red zone right now. They're playing up. The guys are reading, watching what's in front of them, because what you're getting down here has been a couple misdirection plays. So as you watched Seville Lucas, he didn't see him drop. He watched what worked out from him, and he broke on the ball and came up and made a great tackle.
So South Park with the 12-6 lead, 4th down and 8 coming up for Iroquois. We'd like to thank Fat Bob's Smokehouse for supporting our crew and feeding our crew tonight. 716-887-2971. Food was delicious. Check it out. And we appreciate the food before the game. We enjoyed the food before the game, Scott. This has been so much fun here early. Two teams that have a ton of talent. And here, a big 4th down for Iroquois after falling behind 12-zip. They have a chance to go in and perhaps even take the lead here.
Well, you know, this is going to be a great game. This way it's going to be played the rest of the day. Subtle adjustments are making big differences between these two coaches right now and these two teams.
So here comes a 4th down and 8. Hello, you made it on camera in the background. 4th down and 8 coming up here for Iroquois. This is where they started with the football after the shanked punt. Kleitz, pump fakes, now goes to Skotnick in the end zone. He's got it!
Boy, that was pretty. You get caught in the one-on-one press as you've been in the most of the day. That quarterback held the free safety, so he didn't come over the top. Beautiful, well-trained. Watch this young man when they show you the replay here. He looked down the middle of the field, cocked his arm like he was going to throw it, then looked out to his right and hit his man wide open. Beautiful play, well-executed play.
A 22-yard touchdown pass from Justice Kleitz, his 9th touchdown pass of the season. And Nick Skotnick with his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. It's a Firth Jewelers touchdown, and now a point after from Skotnick to take the lead. And Skotnick this time splits the uprights, and Iroquois responds 13 unanswered for a 13-12 lead with 91 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Well, I'm going to say that the discipline of the offense and the discipline of the defense on Iroquois is making the difference right now. They've adjusted to the speed on their perimeter. They took that away. Now you've got to see Coach Delaney find the next hole in their defense and their adjustment, because they certainly have the speed and the talent to have the big play any time of the day.
Well, matching up with that speed and talent, both sides of the football, this is on a 4th and 8 nonetheless.
And just watch his footwork, his look down. I mean, he has time to throw, and that subtle little look down the middle shows you, even though he's a junior, he is a seasoned quarterback. Really nice job in his mechanics there.
Rob Pizzanka said he's obviously very involved with the game plan, but his mechanics, his platform, on-platform throwing is second to none that he's ever coached. And he has a really good relationship with Jordan Palmer, the brother of Carson Palmer, and they've gone back and forth about Justice Kleitz, and they just think that he is a mature quarterback. 6 foot, 175, maybe a little small for the next level, but everything he is doing as a 3-year starter and only a junior really does look like next level stuff.
And we have to remember he's 16. You know, I mean, he's just starting his growth spurt. So this might be a young man that gets to be 6'2", 6'3". But, boy, he's playing at a senior level right now, and he is a kid that should be recruited by the 4-year schools.
Well, I know I mentioned it in the pregame. The word, I think, to best describe him at this point is polished. He's very polished for where he is as a 16-year-old.
Well, and he's a multi-sport athlete. You know, I talked to Coach Pizzanka like you did, and he says, look, the kid's good at whatever he does. And, you know, while he's a great high school player, maybe he's still considering whether he's going to play it at the college level. From looking at him, he definitely can.
It's that work ethic that sets him apart. He's been the starting point guard on the basketball team since his 8th grade year. Right up the gut, Nunez with his back to the 50, brought down a yard shy of the first down, 9 yards, and what burst through that line of scrimmage this time up the middle for number 7.
Well, we talk about the adjustments. Coach Delaney has been killing them on the outside with some quick passes and some sweeps, but what he just did right there was good old-fashioned smash-mouth football, ISO right up the gut, right behind his 2 biggest offensive linemen, and he got 9 yards on the carry.
Brian Tripp, the coach, Scott Pilkey here in the broadcast booth. Nunez jitterbug move in the backfield that time, sidesteps a would-be tackler 5 yards and an Interstate Batteries first down. And you can see he talked about that outside ability, but he's not afraid, even at 5'7", an undersized runner, to get in there in the trenches between the tackles.
Well, he might be 5'7", but he's got some 6'4" and 6'3" offensive linemen in front of him that you're not going to find him. And he's a very disciplined runner. He's slow to and fast through, so he really knows what he's doing.
Into Redhawks territory, coming from behind for the first time tonight now, and South Park looks to answer. We'll see if that's the final play of this opening quarter. Seville Lucas with a 7-yard pickup. It'll be second down and 3.
Well, you see, South Park just responds with up-tempo, two inside runs, now an outside pitch. Now what that's going to do is that's going to hold the linebackers in their spot. The linebackers aren't going to know whether to read. Now you could probably see a play-action pass here if I know Tim, or some type of screen as we get into the second quarter. So, wow, just a great coached first quarter, wasn't it?
A great coaching, great
coach
football.
first quarter.
That is an unbelievable opening quarter. 13-12 Iroquois after one. You're watching the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlets. Iroquois rallies from down 12-0 against South Park, leads at 13-12 here as we start the second quarter, but South Park has the football here at historic All High Stadium in Buffalo on this Thursday night, along with the coach Scott Pilkey. Brian Tripp, second down and 4 for the Sparks offense. Adam Nunez has a couple of long touchdowns in this game. We really have not seen the legs of Jazeer Parsons be a factor to this point. He's right near the marker here, and it looks like he has just enough for a first down. As usual, it does depend on the spot. The nose of the football is at the 35-yard line.
Last couple runs, you've seen a lot of success up inside the tackles, which is a great adjustment again from the success that they were having outside. Now, eventually you're going to see those linebackers sneak back in, or they're going to bring down the safeties into the run inside the 10, which you're seeing right now. So expect some type of a play downfield, I would think, if you're going to throw it at all. Yeah,
the discussion here, Scott, looking at the sticks, it appears to be shy the marker. You can see it's shy of the 45 where the drive started. The ball's at the 35. It looks like enough for a first down, but our referee, Michael Binkowski, is going to walk over. I think they're going to bring the chains out here just to check on the spot and see whether or not Parsons had enough for the first down.
It's the first time I've seen anybody bring the chains out this season, to be honest with you.
Well, something's got to give here in the second quarter. These two teams are outscoring combined their opponents 54-0 over the first 2 weeks of the season. So,
well, you saw in the very beginning of the series for Coach Delaney that it was very quick. Inside ISO, inside zone. They got away from the power, which I think was a little bit too long in development. So I think you're gonna see more of these quick hitters until they can get to that outside again. Run inside. They haven't stopped them for anything less than 5 yards a carry in the last 2 to 3 times they've been running the football. So I expect that you're going to see Tim stick with this until Iroquois adjusts and gives him back what he wants for the bigger plays.
I know we're at All High Stadium. That opened in 1926, but we're still relying on chains to measure first downs in 2024. He is short. It is a 3rd and inches here, and it's Nunez up the gut, shakes free, Nunez into the end zone, touchdown, it's a hat trick.
He's dangerous on the outside, he's dangerous on the inside, he's dangerous on the other side of the ball. Yeah, he's an impressive player, probably one of the best looking kids in Western New York right now, if not one of the top in the state.
35 yards on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown for the senior Adam Nunez.
Well, they see something on that left-hand side, and that inside, they're letting their bigger guys lean on him now, and Nunez just has that ability to see something, get to where he's going, and then make that sight adjustment. 1 cut, and he's gone.
I mean, so much to this team was the leading rusher, receiver, and tackler last season. A throw, and a receiver just knocked off his route a little bit coming over the middle. Parsons misses high, incomplete. South Park, again, unsuccessful, though, on a 2-point conversion. We'll see if that comes back to bite the Sparks as this one rolls on. It's the Adam Nunez Show for the Sparks offense. 18-13, South Park responds. They're back in front here on Thursday Night Lights. Stay tuned for the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football. Family, affordable fun will showcase our Aesthetic Associate Center Scholar athletes presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin. Participating school administrator interviews, Thursday Night Lights, Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country. First half highlights and a whole lot more coming up at the half. Ton of highlights here already. We have 5 Firth touchdowns already here in the game. We thank Firth Jewelers for sponsoring our touchdowns. 3 of them for South Park belong to Adam Nunez. Well, Iroquois has had an answer so far. They'll have to play from behind again. Good field position again, this time the 35-yard line. Believe it or not, though, this is their worst starting field position of this opening half in what has been a back and forth and highly entertaining first 13 minutes of football.
Well, it's definitely a heavyweight fight here in this conference. Either one of these teams can win this and go on into the playoffs. I'm really amazed at how great both of these teams look this early in the season.
Again, we said right at the top of the broadcast, a potential playoff preview, a pair of teams that each had 6 wins last year. Another double move, Clates down the sideline, and Sam Donovan maybe had half a step there on Donald Porter, but he's overshot on the play. 2nd down and 10.
Well, you're gonna see them go to that quite a bit. Now you're gonna see, now that they've got him going vertical, you're going to see him look vertical, check down in some type of drag route that's going to open up because the lanes and the seam routes are there now.
What's the adjustment that South Park needs to make defensively now after Iroquois scored on its last 2 possessions?
Well, I don't think you're getting to the quarterback the way you did in the very first 2, so you got to kind of sit back and let it work out in front of you, and I think that's what they're doing. Less blitz, you're seeing a lot more flow. And they're using their speed to run the running backs down to let things work out, like the misdirection plays you've seen Iroquois try to utilize earlier in the game.
Yeah, unsuccessful that time for Skutnik. Jameer Taylor makes the stop at the line of scrimmage, and just like that, a 3rd down and 10.
And I love the up-tempo stuff, but you're in 3rd down and 10, and against a team like South Park, you've got to keep your defense off the field a little bit. You just can't keep them out there all day long.
Once again, South Park loads the line. Gleitz under pressure, heaves it downfield. A couple of men out there. Oh, that one is caught! Gavin Dundon comes up with the football down at the 30-yard line on a 3rd and 10.
Play action pass, holds everybody in their position, lets them get behind him. big play here. Nice job coming around. Kid looks downfield, sees him wide open. And again, movement has gotten his wide receivers open behind these very athletic DBs of South Park.
Richard Donahue with a 2-yard pickup on first down. Once again, even after the long play of 45 yards, go right back to that tempo offense. Rob Pizzonka said when he was at Buffalo and his brother at Buffalo, that was the great Buffalo teams with Khalil Mack that you're so familiar with, Scott. He said the reason we're using tempo is we saw what Baylor did to a great Buffalo team, and why can't that work at the high school level? So they think the tempo, their speed in the tempo can really keep a defense like South Park off balance.
I was there. I saw that. And it makes a lot of sense for Coach Pizzonka to be using it now.
2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard run for Donahue on first down. Huge conversion on the 3rd down and 10. Kleitz under pressure. Down he goes. Kleitz sacked by Darrell Collins, who comes right up the middle, and it forces another 3rd and long.
You know, just the pressure that you're seeing, the power and the quickness of the South Park team. This is a really incredible matchup between sophistication and discipline against raw power and speed.
Joe Sacco, number 52, number 50 on that defensive front for South Park. Chris Stewart, so much size, physicality that you talked about at the line of scrimmage. And then when you have that second level getting through, just no way to pick up a blitz of Collins when you're already worried about that.
You can see the noticeable side difference as they're trying a slide protection. You can't take your eyes off of a nose guard, a quick rip through right up onto your quarterback. Somebody missed a block.
Already converting a 3rd and 10 on this drive, now a 3rd and 17. And the whistle blows the play dead.
Delay of game, offense, 5 yards.
That's their first penalty, right?
I think you're right. I think you're right. It takes a 3rd and 17, though, to a 3rd and 22. And what do you dial up here on a 3rd and 22?
You know, I think you're going to see they're going to do exactly what they're going to do. What they do, they're going to get at least half of it and then go for it on 4th. Make it a 4. This is 4-down territory for them, no matter what. So they'll take half of it rather than go to the end zone. Then then he's got a second play in his cartridge there, you know.
Kleitz comes out to talk to Skutnik. This is out of a timeout. Now lines up on 3rd down and 22. Kleitz under pressure, sacked in the backfield again. Going the wrong way, it's Collins coming up with the sack. Jameer Taylor also in there off the edge. And what work by this South Park defense.
Well, you're starting to see the sophistication of the Iroquois offense, and the strength and size of South Park is starting to take over. You mix that with the speed of South Park, it's going to be a long night for that quarterback if they can't firm it up. He's got to get the ball out faster, taking way too much time to get rid of the ball.
On a 4th and 31, Kleitz initially lined up as the lone man in the backfield to take the snap. Now Skutnik comes in to punt. And once again, our official stop play. 7:58 to go, second quarter.
One too many men on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
We'll see if that changes the decision. Now just 4th and 26 for Rob Pizzonka.
Yeah, I think right now you kick it, you kick it deep as you can, and try to get some turnovers here just to keep South Park at bay.
I wouldn't kick it though to number 7, Adam Nunez, who's back there. He's at the left edge of your screen. Skutnik again motions in, and another whistle sounds. 7:44 to go, second quarter. 18-13 Iroquois trails South Park after responding for a 13-12 lead. They do kick it away from Nunez. And he's not the only playmaker for this Sparks team. Seville Lucas down the sideline to the 37-yard line. And now South Park looks to go back up by 2 scores. Remember, they have missed all 3 of their 2-point conversion tries in this game, which is why it's just an 18-13 score. He's had a nice game both sides of the football.
Well, that's what you see a guy like Nunez who's number 7, but there's 3 or 4 other guys on South Park that are making this stuff happen, because you can't put 2 guys on Nunez, because somebody else will come up big for him, which they have all year so far. So, you're looking at Parsons, you're looking at Nunez, you're looking at Darryl Collins, all very capable student athletes out here, and you've got to account for all of them.
A 46-8 win for South Park at Niagara Wheatfield in week number 1. 36-6 against Williamsville South last week. Both of those teams 1-1 on the young season. Pioneer waiting in the wings at 2-0, and probably watching at home tonight. And when a guy like Nunez is picking up chunks of yards, 8 on that carry, maybe a little fear for Pioneer as they watch our broadcast here tonight. That game, by the way, next Thursday night as well.
And that's going to be a good game as well. But tonight, number 7 is a lucky number.
An 87-yard reception for a touchdown, and then rushing touchdowns of 62 yards and 35 yards. We do not have a statistician with us here in the booth tonight. We're going to try to get some stats coming up here at the half, but he likely approaching 200 yards of total offense already here. Parsons, high steps and able to shake free and carry for a first down into Red Hawks territory, a 7-yard pickup. Our first downs here in the second quarter are brought to you by Express Windows. That's an Express Windows first down, now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks.
Now, that's a nice new wrinkle that you're seeing. They talk about Parsons being a very good quarterback, but he's also a great run threat. Everybody's going to be focusing on number 7. Parsons was able to get a great first down and about 6 yards on that carry.
Had a 69-yard rushing touchdown in week number 1, a couple of rushing touchdowns last week. Nunez again gets to the outside, tiptoes the sideline. 9-yard pickup, but there is a penalty flag on the play.
I think there's a little hold on the perimeter.
When you're utilizing that outside zone, what challenges does it present?
Offense, number 10.
Well, the hold comes against number 10, Jashad Robinson. I was going to ask for those linemen as well, trying to seal that edge for Nunez.
I think with Nunez, you just need to get a push, and you need to get a change of levels. His vision is, it's above average, and his hips and his feet, he's very fast twitch. This kid's playing on a different level than everybody else out here right now. And when you're running behind Manny Parker and Demarius Hood, you're going to get some yards here.
6'2", 6'4", 245, 310. In fact, 245, 310, 300, 220, and 220 on that offensive line. Parsons sideline, throw a little bit off target, and incomplete. There was certainly a step on the defense down the sideline for Donald Porter, but the throw back behind him pulled him out of bounds, unable to hang on.
And we talked about that this opportunity would be there because of the inside run and the guys playing down inside 10 yards to be run support. That, if it had just been on point, would have been a nice big play for South Park.
Almost made a spectacular catch on the sideline, but the ball thrown too far to the outside for Porter. Nunez bumps into Robinson in the backfield, and he's brought down from behind. Hard to catch number 7 from behind, but Richard Donahue does just that, drops him for a loss, and now 3rd down and long coming up for South Park.
I think that's about the only way you're going to tackle him, is if he runs into one of his own players as well. And, he's just a great player. I just love watching this kid.
Donahue, the junior defensive end, forces South Park into now a 3rd down and 18. So both defenses being a bit stingy here in this second quarter. Sparks back shy of midfield. Number 7 is going to be a focal point for that defense. A flag comes in from the near side.
Dead ball. Neutral zone infraction. Offense, 5 yards.
Now a 3rd down and 23 for South Park. That's a frustrated Tim Delaney right there, as they had an opportunity to go back up by 2 scores with good starting field position and moving the football already on this drive. 3rd and 23. Parsons has not thrown often tonight. He hasn't needed to. He's got a big arm, fires over the middle, and incomplete in the direction of Deshaun Robinson. Zach Larson in coverage has had a good night in that secondary for Iroquois.
You know, Iroquois is doing a nice job. They're keeping they start with their safeties down under 10 for obvious run support, and as soon as the ball is snapped, they're backing out into deep coverage, and they're trying to keep everything underneath it.
Fourth down and 23, under 5 minutes to play here in the opening half, and Iroquois will get the football back. Remember, it was a 12-0 South Park lead in the blink of an eye, thanks to Adam Nunez. Iroquois responded, took a 13-12 lead,
Head coach,
then South Park.
Timeout.
As you hear the timeout coming in here from the South Park sideline, South Park then on a Nunez 35-yard run got us to our 18-13 score where we currently are, and watching Deshaun Robinson go off slow on the play, and hopefully he is okay. He's a big part both offensively and defensively for the Sparks.
He's just walking it off right now. You know, I really love how both of these coaches are trying to stay one step ahead of each other. They're setting it up, the inside runs, the outside runs, the big play action passes on both sides of the ball. This is a really well-coached game here tonight by both staffs.
A response by both defenses here. Prior to the conclusion of tonight's game, don't forget we'll be selecting the Vinyl Outlet defense play of the game. The Vinyl Outlet, Western New York's best porch, deck, and fence installations. And two teams, you know, obviously putting up big offensive numbers, but have been stingy on the defensive side of the football early this season as well. When you're coaching in a game like this, and you know there's going to be that punch, counter punch that we've talked about already here. What are those adjustments? How do you make them in the blink of an eye, snap of a finger on the sideline?
Well, I think what you do is you start to see the subtle adjustments in the depth of your secondary, the linebacker placement. You got 7 in the box, 6 in the box, and you know then you're going to be, if you got 6 in the box with the size that you have, you want to run it up the middle with quick hitters like he did with the ISOs. But then you're going to see an outside run is going to come back on because they're going to make those adjustments all day long. But right now you're starting to see both teams have settled in. You've seen the adjustments. Now they're going to have to go into halftime. You'll start to come out with 2 or 3 different new plays that you haven't seen in the first half, and a couple more. But the defense is settled in right now, and they're not surprised by anything. I think right now you're just seeing 2 good football teams, and it's going to be who makes the least amount of mistakes going forward and who has the bigger plays.
Here in Section 6, 2 teams playing a league game tonight, and Skutnik is chopped down on the outside by Donald Porter. 3-yard loss. They're trying to get the ball as often as possible into Skutnik's hands and let him do something with it, but Porter comes up and makes the play behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, a play like that will set up a play later where he might take a little drop back and let him throw that ball, and that ball might be halfway downfield.
Laundry again starting to litter the field here in the second quarter.
Encroachment, defense, 5 yards.
That's a tough penalty to take for South Park.
Yeah, you know, right now, especially when you don't want this team to get hot again. You want them to get 3 and out and then get back on and try to score one more before the end of the half.
Kleitz under pressure, deep ball, and incomplete, intended for Dundon. Flags are going to fly in. You saw the contact from Martez Quarles, and that will draw penalty flags. Dundon tried to come back for the underthrown football.
Well, that pressure is still getting to the young man. You know, Kleitz is standing in there. I give him a lot of credit for taking the hit and getting the ball out. This is not a guy that's just, you know, crumbling under the pressure. He's still standing in there trying to get, you know, the ball delivered to his player.
So it will be an interference penalty downfield. There's an injury for South
Pass
Park.
interference. Defense, 15 yards, previous spot. We'll look at the sticks.
Senior defensive end Jameer Taylor is down behind play, so they're going to tend to him. And here's a look at that last play once again. Dundon trying to come back for that football.
Yeah, you know, it's tough when he's coming back. The young man was trying to slow down. He actually looked back over his shoulder a couple times, but that incidental contact there prohibited the young man coming back to make the potential catch.
Dundon last year an all-state player, first team all-league, and hopefully Taylor is okay. They're working on his right leg. As you see the Iroquois sideline, that pass interference penalty does result in a first down out near midfield. Taylor is to his feet and walking off on his own power. The UB Bulls halftime show coming up in just a couple of minutes. Ton to recap here from this first half. UB Bulls football. Family, affordable, fun. We'll have our scholar athletes to spotlight and stats and highlights here from our game tonight between Iroquois and South Park. And that's great to see. Taylor was down for a while, but goes off to the sideline under his own power. He's had a couple of nice plays tonight, part of that pass rush for South Park.
You know, 6'1", 210 pounds, great athlete.
Play action down the middle, on target. What a catch on the run. What a throw. It's a strike to Sam Donovan down near the 22-yard line.
And the word strike is exactly what you're talking about. He comes back, play action, gets his head around, steps up and throws. What a great throw and catch. That's a great snag. When you see a wide receiver with that type of snag, it changes your mind up. That's a great job right there.
Using that tempo again, right back to Skutnik, 8 yards. And it'll be a second down and 2. They're inside the Just Pizza delivery zone after what was another Express Windows first down. And this offense wasting no time getting right back to the line of scrimmage.
And this is exciting football, isn't it? This is really an entertaining game, watching the best of these kids. Just that last connection was incredible.
Best of these kids and maybe the best of our area squaring off here tonight. Up the middle, barreling through, it's Donahue again, and Donahue has another Express Windows first down to the 10-yard line. Mark it right at the 10, so it'll be first down and goal.
And that is a bigger play psychologically than you can imagine, because they're playing smash mouth football in the last couple plays here with South Park.
Again, the plunge, and again, 2 for Donahue. The Iroquois sideline very animated after snapping that football. Second and goal from the 8. Still moving with great tempo here and not taking time off the clock and try to leave South Park with a little less time. South Park does still have a couple of timeouts. And there's that sideline again.
Like you said, this is good coaching. They're eating up the clock because they do know they have a guy with a leg that can kick a field goal if they need to.
Kleitz climbs the pocket, gets to the outside. Kleitz diving for the pylon. He's out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Fighting with Jashawn Robinson, reaching for the corner of the end zone. Could not get there. We haven't seen his legs often tonight, but here, very effective to get to the 1.
Great competitor. This is just a really nice play, trying to do whatever he can for his team and to get in that end zone. Nice job by that young man. Just see him get out. He holds the secondary with that little put. Hey, just tuck the ball away a little bit more, man. You know, but everything else, I love the effort. Just getting out to where he has a shot to score for his team.
A penalty, though, against the Redhawks as we were in replay, announced by Michael Binkowski, our referee.
Offense, number 51, 10 yards, previous spot. What happened down there?
And announced for you again here on Thursday Night Lights. There's a late flag that came in just kind of behind the play. So now it's still second and goal. This time from the 18-yard line. Kleitz back to pass. Gets some pressure. Escapes. Floats it back of the end zone. Diving. It is caught. It's a touchdown for Skutnik. Redhawks back in front. 18 yards from Kleitz to Skutnik. His second touchdown catch. What a football game. What an effort. 19-18. Iroquois in front with 2:21 to go in the opening half. Kleitz fired up. His coaching staff fired up. Talks to his head coach, Rob Pitzonka, who is a quarterback himself. So much pride in the development of that young man. And this from Skutnik to make it a 2-point game. Remember, South Park missing both of its 2-point conversions, and right now that is the difference, 20-18. Iroquois leads this game with 2:21 to go here in the second quarter. Got to see this one again. Great catch by Skutnik. They are fired up on that Red Hawks sideline, deservedly so. Up 20-18 here. You're watching the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights presented by the Vinyl Outlet. Justice Kleitz with his second touchdown pass tonight, and once again Iroquois responds and takes a 20-18 lead on the seesaw back and forth here in this opening half from All High Stadium in Buffalo. A couple of unbeaten teams here in Week 3. A Costanzo's kickoff that is picked up by South Park's Jashawn Robinson and then driven backwards. See where they spot his forward progress. Scott Pilkey making his way down to the field. He'll chat with a head coach going off the field and then coming back onto the field, coming up just prior to our UB Bulls halftime show. And now South Park and their explosive offense with 2:08 to play here in the second quarter. We'll look for one last score here prior to the half. 20-18, Iroquois in front. A great battle. Justice Kleitz stand out for Iroquois throwing the football. South Park, it's been the ground game, specifically Adam Nunez, who has taken off, putting on an electrifying show here in this football game. Darrell Collins, a nice tandem in the backfield, sidesteps, and man, then the ball is stripped away. It's on the ground. Who's got it? Iroquois says it has the football, and indeed they do. It's Red Hawks football. A huge turnover. Evan Falter comes out of there with the pigskin. Collins had enough yardage for a first down, made an extra move in the secondary, and it was stripped out of his hands. And the first turnover of the game committed by South Park, and Iroquois gets the football back with excellent field position again. Larson's had a great night on defense, and it was number 7 reaching in there. No doubt it's out. Football flies free, and Iroquois at the bottom of the pile comes out of that scrum with the loose football. South Park now will utilize a timeout with 1:56 to play on the quick change of possession. Iroquois looks to add to what is a 2-point lead. Iroquois, in fact, maybe could make this a 2-score game going into the locker room with under 2 minutes to play here in the opening half. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Babsha's Pierogi. Appreciate everything that Babsha's Pierogi does for our broadcast and all of our great sponsors and our entire great crew here on Thursday Night Lights here in Buffalo. We've got a dandy tonight. This one may be tough to top the rest of the way here in 2024. 2-0 Iroquois, 2-0 South Park, both with convincing wins in weeks 1 and 2. Iroquois defeated Amherst on the road. A couple of 0-2 teams, 35-21 week 1. And then 49-12 defeating Lakeshore at home last week. A team that opened the year 4-0 last year, but went 2-3 in its final 5 games. Both of these two squads look poised for postseason play in 2024. Iroquois with the football after the turnover, the first of the game. Kleitz on the play fake. Heaves it to the outside, and it's picked off. South Park gets it right back. And taking it back, Adam Nunez on the defensive side this time, all the way down to the 27-yard line. And this special football game continues for Adam Nunez. Kleitz sidestepped pressure, threw it up to the outside, and Nunez back there waiting for it, reels it in with the interception. The safety just bursting over top. Great closing speed. Takes it away from Sam Donovan and then showcased his speed down the sideline. It's a great tackle made by Owen Luders to save a touchdown for Iroquois. And man, the complexion of this game flipping back and forth here tonight. Nunez with his second interception of the year, having a huge night with his speed. There he goes, he spins, he dives, he's down at the 1. It's been the Adam Nunez Show. It's an Express Windows first down. They're inside the Just Pizza delivery zone. Running out of superlatives to describe the effort tonight of number 7, Adam Nunez. Got great blocks on the outside. Once that edge is set, spins away from Larson, reaching for the pylon. Great effort by Evan Falter to prevent the touchdown. Seems inevitable, though, now for South Park to reclaim the lead. Parsons looking for the angle. He is in. Touchdown, South Park. Sparks back in front, 24-20. It's a Firth Jewelers touchdown. Tim Delaney, obviously a very emotional game here for both of these programs. A league matchup, the first league game this year for South Park. Maybe the biggest of the campaign.
Head coach.
And they're going to talk it over before a 2-point try. They've been unsuccessful on their first 3 2-point tries tonight. Parsons walks in for the touchdown. And it is 24-20, South Park in front. Gorgeous night here in Buffalo. Great look from our exceptional camera crew. A gorgeous night for high school football. Temperatures in the 70s. There's a breeze down there on the field coming across from the far sideline here towards the press box. Moon just coming up over the trees. Wants a peek of the action. South Park. It may be the game of the year. It feels like it. 91 seconds to play in the second quarter with a 24-20 lead on Iroquois. Don't forget to stay tuned for the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football. Family, affordable, and fun. And the crowd getting into it here as well. First meeting between these two teams since 2017. Last time they met came down to the wire. Maybe who has the football last year tonight in the second quarter, that just like the first one has been back and forth. South Park takes advantage of the interception from Nunez and now looks to add to a 24-20 lead. Robinson in motion, fake to Collins, Parsons on the roll, Parsons the throw, it is caught, it is good. Seville Lucas made the catch, and South Park converts a 2-point try for the first time tonight. 26-20, South Park in front, but still with 91 seconds to play here in the half, and Iroquois will get another shot before going into the locker room. There is Tim Delaney on the South Park sideline. His team has had an answer every time tonight. So has Iroquois. And what a coaching duel. He's an English teacher and a South Park High School alum, bidding for his 100th career win here tonight. 5-time sectional final appearance, state title in 2015. Here is the touchdown from Parsons. You have to pay attention, obviously, to Nunez and Collins. Then a guy like Parsons with his athleticism can beat you with his legs as well. Transfer has made an impact at quarterback this year for South Park, replacing Noah Willoughby after a great tenure as the starter. Iroquois has had great field position all night long. Manny Parker kicking off again. Plenty of time for Iroquois still to put up points here at the end of the half. Larson on the return. Larson out near midfield. Made a couple of men miss, and then it's Manny Parker bringing him down at the 43-yard line. There is a flag on the field back at the 32. Larson's had a busy night. Still warm temperatures here. Going to take a sip of water as he goes to the sideline.
Holding. Offense, number 35. Holding. 35.
And that'll back up Iroquois. Sit back, enjoy this one. I think this one's going to be up there with one of the better games that we will televise throughout the course of the 2024 season. You're watching the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlet. Brian Tripp here in the booth. Scott Pilkey getting ready to go down on the sidelines. Our entire exceptional crew. First down and 10. Penalty really hurts South Park. I beg your pardon, Iroquois, as Kleitz comes out throwing, and Kleitz throws to TJ Domino, who is driven to the sideline, but the clock continues to roll. A pickup of 6. It'll be second down and 4. A good job there to keep him in bounds along the boundary. Just so many weapons here for Justice Kleitz. Kleitz, 44 career passing touchdowns, over 4,400 career yards coming into this game. Pressure's giving him fits tonight. Throws high this time. An incomplete, hard collision along the sideline. TJ Domino unable to come down with that football. He was drilled by Robinson. And it's third down and 4. What Iroquois has to be careful of here is not giving the football back to South Park with too much time on the clock. This is a big third down. Both teams have struggled on special teams tonight, so it's not like they could rely on a punter to flip field position. They'll rely on Kleitz here to pick up this first, and he'll try to do it with his legs, and he will pick up the first, scamper to the sideline and scoot out of bounds just shy of the 40. That first down brought to you by Express Windows. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. And that is a big first down for Kleitz. Not only does it extend the drive, stops the clock by getting out of bounds, but it should prevent South Park from getting the football back, barring a turnover. It's a part of his game that he doesn't use often, but he can be effective. Not only moving the pocket, but picking up necessary yards. Does it again here, flushed out. Kleitz on the run, throws downfield, open man, it is caught, it is Skutnik! Skutnik into the end zone, touchdown! 61 yards, and Iroquois ties it back up. There is a flag on the field back at the 40.
Forward pass here, 5 yards, loss of down.
And the call is that the quarterback, Kleitz, was across the line of scrimmage. It's an illegal forward pass that wipes out what would have been a 61-yard game-tying touchdown. Just one part of his body needs to still be at the line of scrimmage. Watch the 39-yard line here. Kleitz needs just a body part to still be behind the 39-yard line. Flush to his right, and man, that is a bad break there for Iroquois. It looks like he is a yard or two behind the line of scrimmage when he uncorks that throw. And again, you're looking at the 39. And it appeared he released it from the 37. And that's where they're going to spot it here. On this now 2nd and 13, the clock is running. 6 points taken off the board, and Kleitz taken down. What a turn of events. Demarius Hood, who Scott has waxed poetically about tonight, made the sack. And it's that pressure causing trouble for Iroquois all night long. Not just maybe Hood who finished the deal there, but Manny Parker coming off the end. And now Iroquois' Rob Pitzonka going to use a timeout here on what could be very well the final play of this opening half, with 11 seconds remaining here in what has been a thrilling first 24 minutes of football. Scott getting ready down on the field. He will talk to, in all likelihood here, Tim Delaney going into the locker room for South Park. This has been some entertaining football here at historic All-High Stadium tonight. Need to be careful here not to force a ball and have someone like Nunez jump up and take it back the other way if you're Iroquois. South Park does get the football to start the second half. So a chance here for South Park not only to take the lead at the end of the first half, come up with a stop. They'll get the football right away to start the second half. And let's see what Rob Pizzanka has dialed up here for Justice Kleitz. Kleitz sideline. Donovan incomplete. That will stop the clock with 7 seconds left. That play only took 3.5 seconds. So they probably will need to punt here unless they think they can take all 7 seconds off the clock. And Skutnik does come into punt. Nunez and Lucas are deep. It is Nunez. Nunez from the 30, he waved for fair catch. He waved for a fair catch, and that stops play with 1 second left at the 30, and that erases what looked like was going to be a big return for Adam Nunez as he started to go to his left. Just watch his right hand right there. He put it in front of his arm. Oh, his knee was down. His knee was down. His knee was down. It was not a fair catch. His left knee was down. Great catch by our camera crew and our truck. His knee was down. And I'll tell you what, there was some space there for him to go to the left side. I think they got what they wanted, a deep kick that was returnable. And need to think that he's getting the ball here again. With 1 second left, does he have one last trick up his sleeve in what has been a monstrous first half? Nunez, you know he's getting the rock here, and Nunez unable to escape. He will pick up 7, add to his prolific total here, but that will take us to halftime with South Park in front 26-20 over Iroquois in this battle of unbeatens in what has been a colossal fight so far here tonight. Injury on the field for South Park, and on what was, again, you feel like a pretty harmless play to end the half. You were just hoping nothing serious occurred here. It is Nunez who's down on the field. So Adam Nunez down for South Park. The star of this game so far, the star of their offense, the star of their defense. Tim Delaney said clearly the best player on the team, to his feet. And you can see it there from your shot. He's trying to walk it off, and Scott Pilkey right now is with Tim Delaney. I think Scott was having trouble hearing us there for a moment. Scott, ready?
Great competition between you and the other coach on the other side. What do you got to do, and what are you going to talk to your kids about in halftime here?
I thought we played a decent first half. Obviously, they have an excellent quarterback, and they keep playing. We got to stay in coverage a little bit. We got to wrangle him in the pocket when we've pressured him in the pocket and kept him there. We did a pretty good job. And offensively, we feel like we've done a good job. We kind of got behind the sticks on one drive because of a penalty, but we've moved it pretty well. So, a little bit more of the same offensively.
Well, your defensive pressure is absolutely getting to them, and I think it's been making a difference. So you're doing a great job. Good luck into the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Back up to you.
All right, thanks, Scott. Thanks, Coach. Tim Delaney, South Park in front, 26-20 here in what was a back-and-forth first half. I can't wait to see what the second half has in store for us tonight. 26-20, our score through a couple of quarters of play here on the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlets.
watching the UB Bulls Football Halftime Report. UB Bulls Football. Family. Affordable. Fun.
Halftime here at historic All-High Stadium. 26-20 South Park in front. Can't wait for the second half. Let's check out tonight's Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athletes.
Dr. Todd Shatkin from the Aesthetic Associates Center is proud to present Thursday Night Lights Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week. With a 4.0 GPA, Ryan McGoldrick is the Scholar Athlete for Iroquois High School. Ryan's athletic achievements include being a 4-year varsity player and being named second team All-League. Ryan is the school valedictorian, and his community involvement includes participating in various youth sport camps. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Gorgeous night for high school football. South Park here in a battle of unbeatens leads it 26-20. Don't go away. The UB Bulls halftime show continues here on the law offices of William Mattar. Thursday Night Lights presented by the Vinyl Outlets.
You're watching the UB Bulls Football Halftime Report. UB Bulls Football. Family. Affordable. Fun.
(26-20) the score. South Park in front, and we'll get the football here to start this second half. Brian Tripp alongside the coach Scott Pilkey here in the broadcast booth. What a game, what a half. I'm not sure how we top that in the second 24 minutes.
One of the best first halves of high school football I've seen in a lot of years, and it's just going to get better. It's going to come down to the wire here tonight.
Let's take a look back at the highlights from the first half, and there were plenty of them. It started with a defensive stop for South Park after Iroquois goes down the football, a little razzle-dazzle in the backfield, took the ball out of the hands of Justice Kleitz, and then the Adam Nunez show began for South Park. Remember, he left the field limping at the end of the first half, but man, he is special with the football.
Well, if he has anything left in his legs, I'd be amazed, because he's already had a season worth of highlights in just the first half of football. Then you continue to see him on the outside here. They challenged that corner a couple times, because we did not mention that it's also great blocking downfield by the other guys that doesn't have the ball in their hands right now.
He's enjoying himself here tonight, and rightfully so. That was the second of what he had 3 first-half touchdowns. What a response, though, by Iroquois, and a huge first half for Nick Skutnik. Dangerous with the football in his hands. Quite the tandem, Kleitz and Skutnik. The first touchdown, Richard Donahue taking it in from a couple of yards out as Iroquois responded down 12-0. They actually take a 13-12 lead thanks to this beautiful throw and catch.
Well, Kleitz is doing so much with his feet, so much with his head adjustment where he's looking downfield, holding defenders. He's a very skilled young man.
Great football IQ for just a junior at quarterback, but he is a 3-year starter. And then again, Adam Nunez into the secondary. You see the physicality, shakes off Larson, who's had a big game. He just hangs that football down there a couple of times, pretty close near that goal line, but they even a coordinated celebration. But once again, Kleitz had a response.
You know, everything about what these teams are doing, the guys up front are either adding great protection or they're opening holes or they're bringing great pressure like you're seeing. But Kleitz is able to move out of the pocket to his left twice and make key plays. He's got a very good sense of where he needs to be, and then he just leans in, finds it. You can't teach that. That's touch.
He's been under pressure all night long from that South Park defense, and Iroquois able to take the lead, but then prior to halftime threw it up, and there is Nunez again. Long return. They were able to make the tackle on him, held him out of the end zone for the time being, but it looked like Iroquois had a chance maybe even to take a 2-score lead into the half. Instead it was South Park, and Jazeer Parsons crossing the goal line walks in untouched, and it's a 26-20 lead for the Sparks, and they'll get the football to start the second half when we come back. 26-20, South Park in front, teams back on the field, getting set for half number 2. We are as well here on Thursday Night Lights.
You're watching the UB Bulls Football Halftime Report. UB Bulls Football. Family. Affordable. Fun.
Iroquois down 6 will kick it away to start the second half. Scott's with their head coach, Rob Pitsanka.
Down here with Coach Rob Pitsanka. Coach, what did you have to say to your guys after a great first half? What kind of adjustments you're going to make going into the second half here, Coach?
There's a reason why they don't call the game at halftime. We got to play 4 quarters. And everything we put into our offseason as far as our workouts and our running and our 7-on-7s and all the little things that we talk about, this is what we're building it for, the deep waters in the second half.
Well, you got to love the way your quarterback's playing and the big plays you've had out here today. That last one going in with 61 yards. But, hey, come on out and have a great second half, Coach. Have a good one, sir.
Thank you.
Back up to you.
Scott, thanks. Coach, thanks. And that second half kickoff coming your way next. South Park in front, 26-20 here on Thursday Night Lights. South Park will get the football, leading this game 26-20 going into the second half. Back and forth game between South Park and Iroquois, both teams 2-0. This could be a potential playoff preview here. It's just week number 3 of our schedule here on the law office of William & Tarr's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlet. Temperatures dropping to down near 70 degrees here as the second half underway. South Park again getting the football. They've had a 2-score lead already in this game. A little razzle-dazzle on the return. It's Robinson, and Jashawn Robinson, number 11, takes it out to the 42-yard line. Brian Tripp with the coach, Scott Pilkey. We just looked back at the first half highlights during our UB Bulls halftime show. And Scott, you disappeared for the last 2 minutes of that first half, and it was an incredible end to that first half. Both teams had an opportunity to go into the locker room with the lead, and man, I'm not sure what to expect here in the second half.
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of the same. It's just going to be who can hold up now. The mental mistakes are going to happen as people get tired going into half, but you just heard, Coach Pizzonka talk about the conditioning and the weight training in the off season. They expect that they're going to be able to wade through these deep waters with South Park the rest of the day.
False start, number 51.
So against the offense here prior to this, it will be a first down and 15 to start this drive for South Park. Speaking of testing their conditioning here, great job going up and down the steps a couple of times during half.
Hey, I still got some bounce in these short little legs of mine. What can I say?
That's why I chose the play-by-play role. Once I'm up here, I'm good for the rest of the game. It's the coach, Scott Pilkey, Brian Tripp up here in the booth, part of our exceptional Thursday Night Lights crew here from All High Stadium tonight. First down and 15 upcoming here for South Park, opening up the second half with the football and with a 6-point lead. Big night for Adam Nunez, and Adam Nunez, again, hobbled at the end of the first half, picks up where he left off. How about 17 yards on his first carry of half number 2, and that is good for an Interstate Battery's first down.
Well, you're seeing exactly what Delaney did. He's setting up with the inside run, the ISO, which was breaking for 5 and 7 yards. They open up with 17. We talk about deep waters. They're getting up to number 52. Just a great job blocking and staying in what they did very well in the first half.
And right into Iroquois territory on this possession. Back to Nunez again. Nunez looks no worse for the wear as he's chased towards the sideline. Give him 5 yards on this carry.
That's the exact same play, 2 plays in a row, and they're going to go for it until they stop it.
Where they spotted it, maybe even 6 yards on that carry. What makes him so good as a runner? Obviously, he has the natural speed at 4.5, but he's the complete package back there.
He runs with his eyes, and that's what everybody says makes a great running back, is that he's very patient. He lets his linemen set up the block, and once he has a two-way go on a person and he cuts, it's very difficult for another person to react to him because he's very fast twitch and he gets vertical very quickly. He's not standing behind the line of scrimmage. When he hits the line, he's hitting it fast.
Let's see if they go back to him here on this 2nd down.
ISO again, 3 straight plays in a row and gets another first down.
And that first down brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Talking about running backs and using your vision, your eyes. College ranks, pro ranks, high school ranks, who are some of the best that you have seen that you could compare, talk about that skill set?
Well, he runs with, we recruited a guy at the University of Buffalo by the name of James Starks that, played for the Green Bay Packers from Niagara Falls, won a Super Bowl. But James had that same kind of ability, is that once he could see it, he had a body that could respond to it like instantaneously. But James was a 6'1", 205-pound running back. This young man is as quick, and he's a very, very compact person.
And you talked about him hiding behind that big offensive line, waiting for him this time, going back to the well maybe one too many times, brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
But this type of hammering, now Delaney gets to see what their adjustment is at the second half. So now Tim can go back to something else, probably more to the field. Went to that ISO 4 straight times to the right, and they made some adjustments, maybe probably slanting to the boundary, which I didn't get to see. But that slant to the boundary is going to take away and eat up that pressure that they were getting up to the linebackers. So they got to cover up their linebackers a little bit with some line movement.
See what that South Park offense has in store for us here on a 2nd down and 10. Nunez had 3 first-half touchdowns, joined in the backfield by Darryl Collins tonight. Good physical run this time, and Larson throws him down out of bounds, and a flag will come in on that far sideline with the tackle after going out of bounds. 6-yard pickup plus a flag.
It was essentially the same play, but this time Nunez was the lead blocker. Nice of him to share the ball with somebody else every now and then. You know what I mean? There's 11-man football out there, for God's sake.
He needs a breather at some point. And this will be against Iroquois for the personal foul. So Michael Binkowski will walk it off. Personal foul against the defense. And an offense that needs no additional support here from a penalty, and Larson the guilty party this time. He's played really well, number 7 tonight on that defense. All-league selection last year. But a costly penalty now inside the Just Pizza delivery zone, inside that red zone. Physical run, and down at the 8-yard line. So
now what he's doing is, you saw it's the same, as they're hitting the same hole, the B gap, the C gap. And what they're doing is, that was a little misdirection that they had in the backfield. Rather than lead the back through, little misdirection, held the linebackers at depth long enough to allow Nunez to actually get the ball. So it's actually another block. It's just a visual one. See, as he comes across, that holds the linebackers, allows the offensive lineman to get up to second level, and that's as good as an ISO play because it's holding the linebackers in place.
And that's big left tackle Manny Parker setting that block up. Here's Nunez, keeps his footing, backs his way down inside the 5-yard line. Should be good for an Interstate Batteries first down. There's that athleticism of that offensive line that was on display on the replay. And, to the naked eye or to the casual fan, it looks like, okay, they're just going run right, run right, run right, same thing over and over again. But there's a little bit more to it for the offense.
Well, they're starting to see the difference of a guy like number 60 who's starting to lean on his guys. He's getting movement consistently. Demarius is a top-of-the-line player, and you're going to see this. They're moving him around a little bit, but, they got him from the right side. They got him from the left side. And I think they're probably running to him. Like you said, they probably went to the well one too many times there. They brought a blitz. This is the 9th, I believe, in this drive. It's either the 8th or 9th play that they run to the right side. So, you're hoping that they're going to stop them down here. But now you're going to see, I think you're going to see something big come back to the field.
Nunez actually was short of the yard to gain by about a half yard. And Richard Donahue drops Parsons for a yard loss. So what looked like 1st and goal from inside the 5 now becomes a 4th down and a really long one here for the South Park offense. And does Iroquois' defense have a chance to make one of those big stops?
Well, I don't think you're running right, but guess what? They go and they do that, and that's stop us. And that's Tim Delaney right there. Great job. Believes in his guys, and 10 straight plays.
And it is a 1st down brought to you by Interstate Batteries for Adam Nunez. He's got that physical, he's so low to the ground, his leverage, he's got great power to his running game as well.
Well, you're getting a lot of guys. Chris Stewart just had a nice job, 6'1", 220 pounds, stood up the DN long enough to give Nunez that ability to break inside. You give, like I said earlier, if you give Nunez a two-way go, the defense loses.
So now it's 1st down and goal. South Park has already led by 2 one time tonight. Robinson up the middle, into the end zone. Touchdown, South Park.
11 straight plays run behind the same people, and they just marched it downfield. That's impressive.
Jashad Robinson, Nunez spreading the wealth here and sharing some of the workload. Robinson, his 1st touchdown of the season, and the senior makes it a 32-20 game.
I mean, almost a 4.5-minute drive here to open up the second half. Iroquois is a hot team, and now they're going to be playing from behind here, 2 scores, and this is something that's going to put them back in. They're going to have to throw the ball. By Delaney coming down and doing this, he makes them a one-dimensional team in the 3rd quarter here. But they got to move down. They've got to be able to score the big plays still. But you're going to see Tim do this the rest of the game. He's going to eat the clock up because he knows he can beat you up physically with his guys up front.
Parsons to his right, trying to buy some time, batted down, no good again. So another failed 2-point conversion try. It's a 12-point game, and Iroquois started this game down 12-0, find themselves in a similar spot here after the opening possession of the second half. 7:31 to go, 3rd quarter. South Park back up by a couple of scores. You're watching the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlets. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Babsha's Pierogies. 32-20, South Park in front, back up 12 as they were to start this game before Iroquois fought back to take a 13-12 lead in what was a back and forth. Lead changes aplenty in that opening half, but a demoralizing drive there. Explosive plays, the name of the game for South Park in the opening half. Here to start the second half, just a time-consuming, long drive. And now Iroquois needs to respond again. Skutnik has had a huge night. He finds the edge. Skutnik on special teams accelerates down to the 30-yard line. Just when you think the game's starting to change and the pendulum swings one direction, huge play by Nick Skutnik.
Well, that's why you know that these guys are well coached, because even the big plays like that aren't taking away from special teams, from defensive responsibilities. Just to change of direction. Again, we talk about how you run with your eyes. He looks inside, baits him, and then breaks at the outside. A couple really nice blocks coming back. Everybody's staying on their blocks. Again, this is the discipline of football right here. Nice job.
Brings the Costanzo's kickoff back deep inside South Park territory.
He sets it up from the inside. That double team at that point was an incredible block that's structurally sound. And then the angles of pursuit. Those were, again, like the quarterback can hold a free safety with his eyes. He took that little dip to the inside, broke to the outside, and made a big gainer out of it.
Manny Parker, the kicker, also that exceptional left tackle for South Park. Really, in all facets of the game, very involved. Remains the man down on the sideline in that black jersey over there for the Sparks. So they're tending to him. There is Nick Skutnik. What makes him so dangerous? Well,
Skutnik is just a grinder. You know, you take a look at him, he's got good change of direction, but again, he's somebody that sets things up. And you look at a young man like that, he's part of a system. You know, where you got Nunez. You have Nunez. Nunez is his own spark. You get players like this that are part of a really solid structure where you have the double team at the point of attack. He breaks inside, holds everybody, breaks it back out, and he took it to the sideline. Exactly the way you drew it up is exactly the way that just happened.
Great sign there for South Park. Manny Parker appears that he'll return to this football game rather shortly as he jogs off under his own power to the sideline. But Nick Skutnik again has Iroquois set up with terrific field position at the Sparks 30-yard line, trailing by a dozen points.
You know, sometimes when you see big guys like Manny on the kickoff, you know, a kickoff return team, when the guy's got to run across the field like that and lays his body out.
Here is Kleitz taking a shot for the end zone. A ton of contact. Flags fly again. Porter in coverage on Gavin Dundon. Tried to hit that post route.
Now, sometimes you get angry when you get those penalties, but then there's other times that you would rather take the penalty because something in that young man's steps got caught up.
So pass interference against the defense. And now it looks like Porter remains down on the field. Let's take a look at this, see if there was contact or if it was just the feet getting tangled up.
It's just a feet, but, you know, again, it's a penalty that I'm not going to be angry about because had the young man not fallen in, that was a touchdown.
And they're still going to tend to Porter down there on the field. He's down at the 5-yard line for South Park. So starting to get some wear and tear on the bodies here in this third quarter as the second half underway, and a lot of plays logged in that opening half. That was back and forth. Prior to the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Vinyl Outlet Defense Play of the Game. The Vinyl Outlet, Western New York's best porch, deck, and fence installations. Remember, this game started with the South Park defense coming up with a stop inside the red zone. We're back inside the Just Pizza delivery zone again here after the penalty. Ball spotted at the 15-yard line. Richard Donahue, when his number's been called tonight, it's been seldom, but he's been effective lining up with the quarterback Justice Kleitz in the backfield. 1st and 10, and Kleitz to the air. Uses his legs to evade the rush, throws it, end zone, jump ball, what a catch! Touchdown, Sam Donovan climbs the ladder and comes down with it.
Kleitz made this play, and the relationship that he has with his wide receivers, the wide receivers knew how to adjust. They broke off their routes, came back, and settled right where he could make the play. Really nice job.
Well, when this team won sectionals a couple of years ago, Donovan was a member of the scout team, going against an undefeated team every day in practice, and that's what he was doing against the starters to earn him his opportunities. His head coach, Rob Pizzanka, said he'll just moss people all the time, and that's exactly what he did there. Trusting your guy to make a play. And a chance to make this a 5-point game, and here comes the rush. It's no good, but they do run in to Larson, who's down on the ground. Nunez immediately goes over to Michael Binkowski. And now we can bring the offense back onto the field.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Binkowski's
half the distance, sure.
Coming over to talk to Pizzanka.
Wouldn't be surprised if you see Kleitz take it in himself.
Pizzanka coached at, I know you know him so well, but Milford Academy, finds himself a great home here at Iroquois. He's done a great job. And both of these coaches, deep roots here to the Buffalo community. It's Larson, the holder, that gets hit here on the play.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way you can call it.
And they will go for 2 in a 32-26 game. South Park has had all sorts of trouble converting on 2-point tries tonight. Iroquois back within 6 and back within 4. Donahue is in.
Just like that, they respond exactly the way they're trained to. They trust in each other, you know, and like Coach Pizzonka said, he wasn't nervous at all coming out in the second half. When I just was down there talking to him, you could tell, hey, we're going to be who we are. Like he said in the very beginning of the game, we're ready for four-quarter football. That's why you play it.
And a drive that took less than 60 seconds on the clock. 7:09 to go, third quarter, a 4-point game. Don't go away. Look at this one, taking us to break. You're watching the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlets. Here comes another Costanzo's kickoff, brought to you by Costanzo's Bakery. In what has been, you know, you look at the score and you see 60 combined points on the scoreboard, 7:09 to go, third quarter. You could say, well, where's the defense on a night like this? Guys are just making plays time and time again. This is an excellent game.
Well, and the defenses are not playing poorly.
Yep.
They're schematically very sound, but some of the skill sets that you have here, the quarterback, Kleitz, you have Nunez. These are game changers. These are guys that you can't plan for their talent and their technique. They're playing at a different speed, a different focus.
An alert play by Kamar Williams to jump on and recover a short pooch kick there. 39-yard line for South Park in their own territory is where the sparks will begin. Yeah, these are all state caliber players that we're seeing out there tonight.
Absolutely, and future college players, yep.
So now South Park, with its lead whittled down to 4, has it back. It just feels with all the possessions and the big plays that we should be deep into the fourth quarter. There's still 7 minutes and change to go in the third quarter here in this football game.
Yeah, and they're going right back to where they were.
And why not? There he goes, Adam Nunez, taking off. He can fly. See ya. Touchdown.
Easily one of the best single, individual performances I've probably ever seen at the high school level. And I've watched some really good Western New York football.
That is his third touchdown of 60 or more yards tonight. He has 4 touchdowns, 1 through the air, 3 on the ground, and he is the most electrifying high school football player that I have seen in quite some time.
Yeah, and he's not playing, we're not talking about him playing against people that you can't compete against him. This is the same size schools, very talented coaching staffs. This kid's he's just that much better. He's a step ahead of everybody else.
Truly, though, if this gets into a shootout, this is a huge play here. Parsons follows Nunez to the goal line. He's in. He gets it. That's a big 2 points for South Park, as they have struggled on conversions all night long.
Yep.
And that makes it a 12-point game, 40-28, South Park in front.
I knew this was going to be a shootout. I didn't expect it was going to be as big play as it is right now. But look at we've got to talk about, we look at Nunez, but that door was wide open. It was a barn door. They brought back the backside guard, gets up on the linebacker. Just watch this. I mean, you're seeing it the secondary now. His speed, once he's at full go, there's no one that's going to catch him. He's just got to stop doing this, because one day, someday, somebody's going to catch him, and that ball's going to come out before he crosses the line of scrimmage. But look at the linemen. The linemen are up on the second level, and everybody's chasing them and following them. That's a great play all around, man. Great job.
I love seeing him plant that right foot, and once he plants that foot, he is gone.
He's a one-cut gut guy, and he's gone.
So 12 seconds later, South Park responds, back up 40-28. And it truly does feel like, again, that this is late in this game. There's still 6:57 to go in the third quarter here.
I mean, at this point, Coach Pizzonka and that his brother, they got to look at, you just can't sit in that 4-3 right now because they're picking you apart. You got to maybe look at a double eagle where you got the nose covered and the 2 guards covered. That way they at least have to bounce the ball outside, take away the inside, and start slanting your guys because they're just mauling you.
Gavin Dundon takes that Costanzo's kickoff back out across the 45-yard line. Good field position again, though, for Iroquois, and this game is far from over, even though it's a 2-score game.
Well, like we were just talking about, the O-line for South Park is going to be the defining factor going forward. Kleitz is playing as well as he can. They're going to keep pace with them, but until Iroquois makes an adjustment on defense to take away the big run, it's not gonna slow down, and it's not gonna end well for Iroquois.
Remember, their defense came up with a huge strip of the football and a fumble recovery late in the second quarter, but then gave the ball right back to South Park, and South Park punched it in. Dundon makes the catch and scoots out of bounds after a 6-yard pickup. Man, Kleitz, not only is he accurate with the football and he gets it out fast, but he's giving his guys the opportunity to make plays after the catch with his accuracy.
Yeah, it's because he gets the ball out so fast. You know, if they have to wait for it, there's a tackle right on them, but that's the key to yards after catch.
Throwing again on a 2nd down and 4. He's been under pressure all night, and now he turns on the Jets to the outside. He has an Interstate Batteries first down. We'll see if there's a flag on the sideline as there was contact out of bounds. And Justice Kleitz with an 8-yard pickup and another first down for Iroquois.
They got lucky on that one.
I feel like we just need to catch our breath for a moment here.
Especially after me running up and down those stairs. But, you know, I think it was momentum on the way out. I think I think the young man tried to do everything he could to keep him up. He didn't run him out. So, good aggressive play.
Jashad Robinson, senior linebacker, actually almost looked like he was trying to hold him up there.
Yeah, and I think that's why they didn't throw the flag.
So now from the 40-yard line. Just checking on the spot here, I believe, prior to this next snap. That's good. We'll take that opportunity to take our time here in the booth and take a deep breath. All right, now here we go. Kleitz going deep down the sideline, incomplete.
Great
intended
coverage
for Nick Skutnik. And he's holding his right knee as he goes down. Hopefully he's able to pop right back up. Little hobbled, but
little hamstring maybe. Back of the knee.
Jashawn Robinson with the coverage, number 11.
Boy, to be 18 years old and be able to, you know, reach out, possibly detach your knee or your hamstring, pop up, put it back into place, and get back into play, it's awesome. You know, these kids are tough, man. They're doing a nice job.
He's going to stay in the game.
Yeah, and he knows they need him on the field. And that's the toughness that you're seeing on this field here today. These kids are really well trained, in very good shape. They know how to play while they're having a little bit of pain, but they play through it. You don't see a ton of that today.
He's had a big night. Pressure here. Kleitz goes down, lost his helmet. Also lost the football. That wasn't his helmet. It was someone from South Park. Lost the football, and Iroquois recovers the ball. Obviously,
Jameer Taylor, 6'1", 210 pounds. He came in and made great hit, and that's his helmet. He's got to come out for a play now.
3rd and a mile now coming up. Unfortunate to get that ball back. But this pass rush is becoming a problem. The trench is becoming a problem on both sides of the ball.
Hey, when you get 2 to 3 guys like that hitting your quarterback, it's not a good sign. Got to get the ball out of there a little bit quicker, and the protection's got to hold up a little bit better for this Kleitz.
Number 59, Ryan McGoldrick, who we introduced you to at halftime as one of our scholar athletes tonight, recovered the fumble. He's ranked number 1 in his class. His brother Nate, all those receiving records for the program. Donahue in motion. Screen goes back to the other side of the field. Dundon in space. First down, and a flag flies. Comes in late. If it's holding, it would be from the spot of the foul. Dundon picks up 29 yards.
Thought I saw somebody fall down around the legs. It might have been considered a low block. I'm not sure without seeing the replay, but
what a play call.
It was great. He was, and again, you got to look at the scheme, okay? He looks to his right. You look to his right, he has one screen, then he looks back to his left and he has another. And it's a great all-around play.
Let's watch here and see if the penalty, we can spot it. We think it might be TJ Domino, number 25.
Yeah, just the hands on the outside. I mean, that's a great call. Probably didn't need to. If he had his hands on the inside, I don't think they would have called it. But it still would have been a nice game. It's a little late in developing over there.
From the spot of the foul, so a 3rd and 20 from midfield. Now a flag comes in, maybe a delay of game call or an illegal substitution here from deep in the secondary. Another penalty flag. Remember when we had that long sustained drive to start the quarter? It seems like a long time
seems like a quarter ago.
Well, it's against the defense, and now a 3rd down and 15 in what is 4-down territory. So Iroquois, second life here after the quarterback was sacked and fumbled, and it is Donovan, and this time he can't make the spectacular catch.
I hope he gets up. He took that one under the chin. That was a pretty vicious hit he just took. And he's up.
You're talking about Kleitz in the backfield.
Yeah, I
hope
he's got to get somebody out here to take a look at him. That body language isn't right there. He's stumbling around a little bit. He took it under the chin.
Porter had the coverage, but obviously
somebody needs to come out and take a look at him.
A lot of eyeballs.
He took a hard shot.
A lot of eyeballs in section 6 watching that young man right there.
That was a big hit.
Might be the best quarterback in the area this year.
He's certainly the toughest because he's been hit like by a train several times tonight, and he's still in there delivering the football.
Skutnik lines up to punt. They are going to kick it back to South Park. It's a good punt by Skutnik. Angles it down inside the 15, takes a South Park roll, and it's down to the 18-yard line. Jashawn Robinson, came dangerously close to running over that football. Iroquois is arguing that they should have it.
And he might be right, the way the ref is looking with his hand pointing down their way.
The initial signal is that it's going to stay with South Park. But
those are the ones that get. Those are the ones that get you crazy. And you're screaming poison, poison, poison on Delaney's side of the ball. There's absolutely no reason. There's absolutely no reason why number 11 should be around that ball right now. Get away from it. Ooh, he's lucky. It didn't hit him, but he shouldn't be around that ball at all right there.
Yeah, it definitely did not hit him. Great look from our crew.
Great job.
So the officials get it right. As a coach, that may pain you to hear. 4:56 to go, third quarter, in a 12-point game. Adam Nunez. Now what? Oh, Adam Nunez off to the races. What a night! Another long touchdown.
Wow. I can't even imagine what he's got to be in the 300s for rushing tonight.
Flag comes in at the end after the celebration. And he's having a career in a game, let alone a year in a single game.
Yeah, this is one of the best performances I've ever seen in all the years I've been watching high school football.
His 5th touchdown.
He's cramping up.
And hopefully, again, he left a little bit wobbled, or a little bit hobbled, I should say, late in that first half. They come out and tend to him. Wow, that's his 5th touchdown. 4:43 to go. South Park up 46-28. I was surprised there that Iroquois kicked it back because they have no answer for this ground game right now.
Well, that's what I mean. I'd rather give up the field position. Kick it out of bounds if you have that kind of precision, and I don't know if they do. It was a great kick. What he did differently was he had his great success pushing it front side. He bent that one back, and he read the adjustment. That's what makes him a great player. Because as you start to see the flow of the linebackers, all anticipating that he's going to push to the front side like he has all year, he bends it back, and there's absolutely nobody there for him. So watch this. The eyes, boom. So everybody else is turned, pursuing towards, and you can't even get an angle on this kid. That is an amazing young athlete right there.
82 yards.
He is spent.
He's playing both ways tonight, 82 yards.
Again, you see everybody else is downfield, expecting him to push the front side, bends it back. You take a look at his legs. I mean, his legs, he is just chugging to get there right now. There's no ease there. He's working his butt off, man. There wasn't any showboat, was there, in that one? He was in that one. He earned that one. Great job.
I think probably over 400 yards at this point, honestly. I wish we had the stats here with us.
Has to be.
And I wouldn't be able to do the math quickly enough myself. Well, he's earned some Fat Bob's Smokehouse tonight. We appreciate Fat Bob's for feeding our crew here on what has been a busy, entertaining night at All High Stadium. 46-28 now the score. And, man, he's earned it. What a night. He's earned a photo over on the sideline. Not done yet. There's still 4:43 to go third quarter, 46-28.
How many yards does he have?
This is his 5th touchdown. They're up here in the press box. They're asking us if we have the stats. We're saying probably around 400 yards now. His first one was through the air, so about 300 on the ground and maybe 100 yards in the receiving game. A 2-point try. Another special play. Don't forget about Jasir Parsons. What a run. Unable to get it all the way to the goal line. And the 2-point conversion, no good.
Well,
Nearly got there.
Yeah, this is what's great about South Park is that here we are talking about Nunez, but if you take a look at this offensive line, they're burying people. Then you're watching somebody else take, with the same kind of moves, maybe not as fast twitch as Nunez, but these, South Park has talent, boundless talent right now, and that's what's opening up all these holes. But you got to say kudos to one group of guys that we're not talking enough about.
I know where you're going.
And that's the offensive line up front.
They want some Bob's Smokehouse, too.
Look, Nunez, if he was getting hit at the line of scrimmage at his weight, he would be maybe getting 3-4 yards. But the fact that he is hitting full speed without any hindrances at all, that's a testament to probably one of the better O-lines you're going to see in Western New York this year. And if they keep playing like this and that O-line can stay healthy, Tim Delaney might get his 2nd state championship.
That's high praise for that group. That's a group over there hydrating on the sideline. Much deserved rest for them. It's such a big line. Parker, Hood, Stewart, Sacco, and Stewart. All that size up front. Even Delaney acknowledged how big they are for playing in Western New York. A couple of places also getting their money's worth tonight. We've got another Costanzo's kickoff coming up, brought to you by Costanzo's Bakery. And each of our touchdowns tonight are brought to you by Firth Jewelers. Firth Jewelers touchdowns, go for it to Firth. So we appreciate their partnerships as we bring you tonight's Thursday Night Lights game, and now a 46-28 3-score lead for South Park, and the biggest lead for either team in what was a back and forth game for the most part until this point. Don't count Iroquois out just yet. Urmson puts his knee down at the 35-yard line, and now some real work to do for Justice Kleitz.
Not that he hasn't done enough already, right? Yeah. Kleitz is a great competitor. Mm-hmm. He's a technical kid, tough kid, sits in there, takes the punishment. He's going to need a bath, filled with ice after this one.
Already going against a great pass rush, too. Now they really can just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback.
Yeah, and keep everything in front of you now. You don't want to give up the big play. Just like this, if they get 8 to 10 yards, that's fine. If they have a 4-minute drive, that's fine. Get your guys off on the side, get them some water. If you keep scoring 2 to every one of theirs, you're going to be all right. So, right now, play smart, keep everything in front of you. Don't give up don't let them back in the game with a big play right now.
Skutnik for 3, brought down by Robinson, 2nd down. And a long 6. Trying to change it up here and run the football. And Richard Donahue has a score tonight. Barrels forward for 8 yards. You know what? Make that 4 yards on the play. It is 3rd down and 2.
And if I'm Coach Pizzanka, I want to run the clock. I want to get my momentum back the rest of the 3rd quarter, because the 3rd quarter has been all South Park essentially.
Pass over the middle, broken up. A flag does come in. Seville Lucas, contact there with Gavin Dundon. But yeah, it may be a big deficit, but you need to settle the game down first and foremost.
Pass interference, defense, number 6.
So pass interference will give Iroquois a first down, and that first down brought to you by Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
You know, this is one of those games that when these guys are 20 years down the line, a little bit of contact on the back before, you know, going across, but, you know, solid play all around. But this game is going to be one of those classics for these kids. There's Coach Frank Payne. I coached with Coach Payne. Coach Payne to the left of Tim Delaney was our defensive coordinator at Erie Community College and used to be the head coach at Iroquois.
Pass incomplete from Kleitz. Stops the clock, 3:36 to play here, third quarter, 46-28. South Park in front on just a monster quarter, a monster game, obviously, for Nunez.
And here's a little Thursday night lights for you, too, is that Coach Payne sat in for me last year when I couldn't do a couple games. So he's been a color commentator here as well for Thursday night lights.
Oh, it's nice to see you didn't get Wally pipped. Hey, 2 games together. I think this is the start of a long partnership here. We've gotten 2 really good football games. This one might start to get out of hand unless Iroquois can do something in the trenches to negate South Park really taking it over at the line of scrimmage, and too eager to get after the quarterback. The hard count gets him to jump offside. It'll be a second down and 5.
False start.
Nope.
Offense, number
Going
50,
against the offense.
5 yards.
So they're in the neutral zone, but the offensive line, the one that moved first.
You know, I really like what we're seeing here. There's, you know, South Park's not changing who they are. They're going to continue to come at you.
And they'll take advantage of that by going over the middle to T.J. Domino. Flag again flies. He makes the catch for a 7-yard pickup, but of course we have to check on the yellow laundry. And South Park reacting as if it's going against Iroquois again.
Personal foul, defense. Mass, 15 yards.
And South Park now reacting, knowing it's going against them. That's a big penalty. It'll be a first down brought to you by Interstate Batteries.
At this point, you take whatever can get you down there. If it's, you know, you get a couple sweet penalties like that. You know, Coach runs a pretty disciplined shop here. His guys are physical first, but he also knows his physicality is going to have minor mistakes every once in a while.
Quickly to the line, now with that first down at the 25-yard line. Trailing 46-28, desperately in need of points. Kleitz under pressure, throws it up, and that ball is caught! Seville Lucas was there in coverage, but Gavin Dundon comes down with the football. The senior goes and finds it, and it's a first down again, brought to you by Interstate Batteries, back inside the Just Pizza delivery zone.
What you're looking at here is you are seeing 2 teams play to exhaustion. These guys are given everything. This is an incredibly physical fight between these 2 conference rivals.
Now on display, too, on that run from Richard Donahue. He really had to fight to just pick up 2 and take the ball to the 13. And now an injury for South Park. And you expect to see maybe a few of these players like this the rest of the game, with warmer temperatures cramping up on a night where they have left it all completely on the line. With 2:36 to go third quarter, South Park, thanks to Adam Nunez, opening up a 46-28 lead.
This is as physical of a football game as you're going to see at this level. I mean, the talent's there, but the depth isn't. You know, so when you've got these guys playing as hard as they are right now, yeah, you're going to see a little wear and tear on each guy on each level. But these offense and defensive linemen have been playing just tremendous football so far, and you know, I can't tell any greater thing than how much. Well, that didn't come out well. Hey, I'm just going to say I'm getting tired too. My tongue just cramped up there. I apologize. But when you look at how this O-line and D-line are playing against one another, there's not a lot of give.
Yeah.
They're opening up the holes. But, you know, Delaney just keeps bringing that pressure. And I just wonder how many times Kleitz is going to be able to take a hit. And, you know, but look at him. He takes the shot and he delivers a ball like that. This is a really inspired football game so far.
Especially in a game like this. Players are playing 2 ways, playing special teams. And because of the tempo of both offenses, the accumulation of snaps, there is no time to rest.
No, and you're in a dogfight. You know, just as quickly, Iroquois has shown they can come back and score on you very quickly. So you can't take off the pressure. You know, it's an amazing game so far.
Gorgeous, gorgeous night. Almost can see the man on the moon.
They call that the farmer's moon or the harvest moon.
The autumn moon. Moon ball. Incomplete. Skutnik closest to it for Iroquois. Double coverage on him that time. 3rd down and 8 coming up for Justice Kleitz.
And just think, this young man has another year. He has another year.
And there's not really a throw he can't make, and we've seen him do it under duress tonight, moving to his right, moving to his left, and he's done it without a clean pocket for most of this game.
I'll put him up there right now. I've only seen a handful of quarterbacks in Western New York, but this kid right now is as good as anybody you have in New York State.
6-foot junior ready to go here on a 3rd down and 8. Got to have points on this drive. Hook and ladder set up and converted. Flipped it off to Skutnik, and Skutnik brought down at the 9-yard line. All that for 4 yards and a 4th down, a pivotal 4th and 5 coming up.
Yeah, it's a really good looking play. And again, he takes another shot, but this is well set up. As we talked about all day, there's nothing that they do that isn't schematically practiced over and over and over again. And that's a testament to the coaches on both sides of the ball, both the Pitzonka brothers.
Even when he gets the ball out quickly, Kleitz is getting hit on the play.
Yeah, he's not had a clean pocket the entire second half.
4th and 5, gotta have it for Iroquois, trailing 46-28 late 3rd quarter. Timeout by Iroquois.
Little
with the
attempt
play
at a
clock
hard
winding
count
down.
there.
Yeah.
You know, put him in motion, a little head bob, little hard count. Good discipline by South Park right there.
Iroquois after this, next week, they'll take on Health Sciences BASC Charter 1-1, then at Pioneer. So this is a pretty tough stretch for them, too, before things...
Yeah, Health Science is always a very talented football team. If you look at the Buffalo Public Schools, you know, probably about 15 years ago when they started competing in the Section 6, not just playing against each other in the city, you know, there was a big disparity for a while. But then you saw the first guy to really break through was Coach Delaney.
Yeah.
I believe he was the first city school to win a state championship out of Buffalo. And then, of course, you had Coach over at Bennett over here, McDuffie, that won it 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the city of Buffalo is, you know, you're playing on this stadium that a lot of them share, most of the teams share over here. But this is a really great testament to the Buffalo Public Schools athletic department and the quality of football they're putting out.
South Park with that state championship 2015. Since 2019, 39-8 the record for Iroquois. But they're going to need to turn this one around here tonight. 4th down stop for that South Park defense, up 46-28, and they'll take back over with 90 seconds to play here in the 3rd.
And, you know, I'm not saying that the game is over, you know, with the 3rd quarter, but if South Park comes back and scores here, this is going to be that's not a great sign at all. He'll walk it off, though, and thank God it's not on his throwing arm.
So Justice Kleitz, again, left arm trying to shake that off as he goes to the sideline. What a game he has had. I know the result might not be what he wants tonight unless something drastic changes. I've been so incredibly impressed with his performance.
A quick turnover here is what they need. They don't need to give up another big play.
Well, Nunez has had a couple of plays of 80-plus tonight go to the end zone. Darrell Collins strung out and brought down for no gain. Tracked down at the line of scrimmage by that Red Hawks defense. Ryan McGoldrick, number 59, made the tackle, the number 1 ranked student in his class right now. You know, Rob Pitzonka said his team GPA is 97.
He's got the valedictorian and the salutatorian playing for him right now. That's incredible.
The valedictorian right there.
Yep, incredible.
One of our scholar athletes we showed you tonight on our UB Bulls halftime show. What's left in the legs for Adam Nunes? Well, still pretty much. It looks like he has 12 and another first down along that far sideline. Our first downs are brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable, just like him.
Absolutely. I love watching, the kids that they give you all their gas and then they go on the sideline, recover, and come out and have more for you. This is a fun group of kids to watch, and they're so well coached.
Tim Delaney said one of the keys coming into this game to extend drives, it's been explosive plays, the name of the game. Although that drive, the long sustained, there's the ball on the ground. South Park fortunate to hop back on it on the exchange there between quarterback and running back. But I do think that long sustained drive to start the half really set the tone for the second half.
Well, it was bully ball. They came out and ran 11 straight plays or 10 straight plays. But these are the types of mistakes that Iroquois has to have happen right now. If you get a turnover down here, you're right back in it if you can score quickly.
It looked like a bad snap, and guess who was on top of the football to recover?
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Everybody and Mr. Everything,
And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. What a third quarter it's been for South Park. Extending the lead, 46-28. Sparks in front, looking to remain unbeaten and improve to 3-0 on the season. All Sparks in the second half so far. We'll be back. This is the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlets.
And guess what? Your offensive player, that he's going to get both of them today.
South Park able to get back on the football, avoiding disaster deep in their own territory. They control this game going to the fourth quarter up 46-28. Brian Tripp along with the coach Scott Pilkey, again trouble with that snap for Jazeer Parsons. Able to hang on to the ball but dropped in the backfield again. So now a third down and long coming up.
You've had this sure snap all game long. And you just wonder if the young man that's playing center, he is just an absolute tough guy up there, and I'm amazed at he's only a sophomore, Kershawn Stewart, and he's played an amazing game. But I think what you're seeing is you're now seeing him covered up by the nose guard. This is the adjustment. This is the first time you're seeing the nose guard covered. And it's making a difference. It's interrupting the snap.
Good snap that time, and pressure for Parsons. Throws on the run, incomplete for Seville Lucas. A lot of coverage, a lot of players down there for Iroquois. Ball was batted into the air, and South Park will have to punt.
Well, if you're scouting this game right now, for most of the game, that center was uncovered. And now you're starting to see they put him into a shade, and they're not giving necessarily a 3 down front, but they're covering the center up, getting right into his face, forcing him to snap the ball a little bit quicker. and hence it's not as secure of a snap as it's been. If I'm playing him in the future, I'm putting my best player over the center right now after taking a look at that.
Well, with how this game has gone, it is not over yet with South Park up 3 scores, kicking it away, nearly blocked. Again, special teams, a bit of an area of concern for the Sparks tonight. Ball out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Great field position again for Iroquois, which means they can score fast here and see what happens as this fourth quarter continues.
Well, if they have the fourth quarter like South Park had the third quarter, this is going to be going down to the last 2 minutes of the game.
Justice Klotz, the leading passer in Western New York, coming into the game, has continued to add to his prolific totals here in his junior season tonight. Had 8 touchdowns, no interceptions coming into tonight's game. Has thrown a couple of touchdown passes again tonight. And great to see him just back out there, Justice Klotz, after getting banged up really all game, but really hobbled after that last possession.
Yeah, he's just a tough kid, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people haven't talked about. They said that he's got great skill set, but his mental toughness.
He's going to take a shot. It's underthrown and intercepted. South Park will get it right back. Pass is picked off by Porter. I believe he came down with that football. He's hobbled on the play. 2 players are down, and there is a flag. So hold on here a moment. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's going to be standing at the end of this one.
No, this is one of those that you're going to remember, because you're going to remember how it felt. You're going to remember how hard you had to fight back with your teammates. This is one every single one of you is going to have that sore body tomorrow morning walking back into school.
Yeah, that's the
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Here, number 21.
It goes against Porter in what has been a pretty clean. The game started clean. It's been a physical game, but there's been great sportsmanship tonight for the most part. Unsportsmanlike call against him. Great to see him jog off. Yeah, that's the tough thing. This is a Thursday night. These guys have to go back to school tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and you remember they were in school all day today. So for these student athletes to come out here and play.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 21.
Yeah, we get the announcement again.
First down.
They don't like that right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to celebrate. This is a big game, a lot to celebrate. But then, at some point, nobody needs to see your abs. Okay?
You're not going to show us next?
No, I got the ab. More like a keg.
I have a few guesses as to why. 10:57 to go here, fourth quarter, and South Park in front 46-28. And back to the ground with Adam Nunez. Adam Nunez, look out! There he goes! What a night! Can he win another foot race? 20, 15, 10, 5, and in for the touchdown! 96 yards!
I'll tell you what, that was an impressive. I love Nunez, but the effort of Nick Skutnik on that play it's amazing. I mean, his ability to run with him, to not give up. I mean, that's the best in high school players right there, both sides of it.
They're going to have to pry him off the turf. What does he have left in the tank? We've seen so many spectacular runs tonight, 96 yards this time, and he's up to about 500 all-purpose yards in this game.
When they show you the replay here, you're going to be impressed with the fact that a 5'9", 300-pound offensive lineman was on the second level on a linebacker to open this hole. This is an impressive effort.
6 touchdowns for Nunez. Going for 2, Parsons end zone, open man, overshot, incomplete, 52-28, 10:40 to go, fourth quarter. Adam Nunez, and
now watch number
goes.
75, just his influence. Okay, look. Now you can't see him in the screen anymore, but and just watch the pursuit here. This is an amazing effort on both guys. I mean, Nunez is phenomenal, but the effort here, the effort here. I mean, that is just incredible. Don Beebe-esque, I would say. Didn't end up in the same result, but nonetheless, a great effort by that young man to try to save a touchdown.
And Nick Skutnik, who's been in the end zone a couple of times himself here tonight. And that's leadership, and he's only a junior. That's leadership, proving something for your team and how much you're putting on the line. This is a game no one's going to forget.
I love how these guys are playing. I think both coaching staffs should be commended. South Park is just that big, just that fast, just that talented. And, I mean, to score the points that they have in the first 3 games of the season, and I think what we're talking about, this is Coach Delaney's 100th victory.
Yep.
If he wins tonight, what a way to win on a Thursday night with your team absolutely balling out like this. I mean, there's still a lot of time, but I
think that one right there,
you know, that was
seals it for South Park. Here comes the kickoff from Paul Hurst. How about how the ball was on the ground there? Out to the, I mean, even just look at the physicality on special teams there, out to the 45-yard line for Larson.
The difference is finish right now, and it's how they're finishing. You know, South Park they're a beast. They've got good enough football team if they stay healthy to go to the States.
Well, these two teams may see each other again in the playoffs as well. As you said, this may be a setback for Iroquois here tonight. They've done a lot of really good things. Just that size in the trenches. They've had no answer for here in the second half in that running game. Kleitz remains in the game, fires over the middle to TJ Domino, the junior. Number 25 makes the catch. He's a great story himself, called by his head coach the All-American boy, being recruited by Ivy League schools, a 34-inch vertical. Didn't play last week. He's ranked number 2 in his class. Ground game here and trying to pick up the first and close to it for Donahue. But TJ Domino, his brother Johnny is also a part of the program and on staff. His brother Johnny battles cerebral palsy, and he's a coach. He does all the analytics for the program. We've seen him down there on the field all night long working with Rob Pitzonka, and he is just as important to this team as his brother TJ. And TJ is an incredible student athlete, and really both of those men, big pillars for the Iroquois program and community.
And that's what they are. They're community, you know, and Coach Pitzonka said, if we're going to win like us. And they're going to compete all the way to the end here. I tell you, in spite of the score, both teams really impressed me tonight so far of the kind of talent they have, and they're finishing, and they're not dirty. And, you know, they might be celebrating a little bit too much, but that's part of the game, you know?
Especially 2-0 teams tangling. You figure this is huge for league purposes moving forward.
And it's not that they haven't had something to
cheer about.
To be excited about, you know?
You're having nights for many of these individuals that will be long remembered.
Absolutely. I won't forget this game.
No.
This has been a great one so far. We still have 9 minutes to go.
Makai Peoples made that last tackle. Have not called his name yet tonight. 56. Want to make mention of that. And it sets up a 4th down and 3 for Iroquois. And movement on the outside prior to the snap. 8:46 to go.
False start. Offense.
That's when the hard count's supposed to get the other guy to jump, not your own guy.
Brian Tripp along with the coach, Scott Pilkey. As we have our post-game show still coming up after this. I mean, there's still a lot of time in this 4th quarter. Our trophy designed by Niagara Awards. Scott will head back down to the field and award that likely to South Park. And head coach Tim Delaney, who is on the cusp of his 100th career win tonight. Looking for another signature win in that prolific career. Has done such a great job at his alma mater. Talked to him about the connection he feels to his school and this program. He's become an institution there. We've got another whistle.
Delay of game. Offense. Delay.
Was a
Offense.
4th and 3 is now a 4th and 13 after back-to-back penalties.
And these are the types of things now, and you just start to see the general wear and tear on a team. You know, simple little mental mistakes, not having the right guy in the field, not having the call in time.
Must get to the 46 in opposing territory for the first down. Slant wasn't there, and now Kleitz has to look for another option. Justice Kleitz over the middle, batted and incomplete. South Park comes up with another stop, and they'll get the ball back. 7:57 to go here in the football game, and they'll take over inside Red Hawks territory. And see if that's the end of the night for Nunez or not. He's still back out there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take him off. And, you know, at this point, he's rolling. He's trying to get everything done, throws across his body. You know, he's trying to get everything done that he can to try and win this football game. But South Park is just too talented right now. But look, coach keeps coaching him, keeps telling him as you don't throw across your body, you want to, hey, pull it down, run it yourself, or throw it to one of the guys that are probably closer to the sideline. That way you don't put it back in play where it might be able to be intercepted.
Adam Nunez.
Again.
Adam Nunez. Adam Nunez. Maybe that's the exclamation point on a historic night for Adam Nunez.
You know, getting beat is one thing, but to have that many when you cannot stop it, that is one of the things that you can go back and look at all the film you want to. What happened? The offensive line is what happened. Their offensive line, Nunez is great, but right now the offensive line of South Park is the most dominant element on the field right now. And they're just beating everybody up in front of them. How impressive is this?
It's his 7th touchdown, 6th on the ground.
That's got to be a Western New York record. I've never seen that many touchdowns scored in one season.
According to AI, and I'm trying to do some quick digging here as to New York State records, I think it's going to be hard to find. It says the rushing record for a single game, 584 yards. Again, just pulling that up and trying to find it on the fly. Joe Benedict in 2016 for Sandy Creek, 584. He's got to be getting pretty close to that. Now, the first one was a reception, so that will knock that. But his all-purpose total, 7 total touchdowns. And it is a remarkable night. 58-28 the score, 7:45 to go. I'm going to keep digging on that one. You're watching the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights presented by the Vinyl Outlets. Closed captioning for tonight's game is provided by Babsha's Pierogi. Still digging into the record books here, and it seems like Adam Nunez from South Park High School is flirting with New York State records here in this game tonight. Has 7 total touchdowns. We don't have official stats up here in the booth. We'll have to tally those after the game. But trying to get to the 584-yard record on the ground. His first touchdown of over 80 yards tonight was a receiving touchdown, which may be all that stands between him and a state record. At this point, it is definitely in play. Skutnik reverses field, stays on his feet. Skutnik, who's done a little bit of everything tonight for Iroquois. And we've got a flag for extracurriculars along the sideline. A player without a helmet on the field, writhing in pain. And this, again, we'll have to sort out. 7:36 to go, 58-28 the score. I remember a game back, and I do games sometimes in Pennsylvania as well. On Friday nights, there was a player from Meadville High School who ended up going to Penn State by the name of Journey Brown, who ran for 722 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Dead ball. Personal foul, number 27. 15 yards, end of the run.
and we haven't seen much of that tonight. He had 30 carries in that game for what approached a national record of 754 yards. But that game ended 107-90 against DuBois. So again, we'll see the penalty there. It's a personal foul against Iroquois. We haven't seen much Chippy play tonight. It's been a physical, hard-fought football game. But this is all about Adam Nunez right now, who's, again, it is a record-setting type performance.
Yeah, and, you know, and we're so early in the season still.
Yeah.
You know, these are guys that can play probably 10, 11 games going forward into the playoffs. But, you know, you look at what Iroquois started out doing, and they're as good as anybody you're going to see in this class. The best quarterback in the class, well coached. You know, this team is a winning program, and they will be a winning program. They're going to get through this. They're going to learn what they got to learn, and they're going to move forward. But
I think you make a great point there, Scott. This isn't an 0-2 football team. This is a 2-0, one of the better teams in the area.
It really is.
That he's doing it to tonight.
Yeah. But South Park right now can play. I'm telling you, they could probably play with Bennett. They could probably play with Lancaster. South Park is back in a big, big way. If they stay healthy the rest of the season, I think they could go undefeated and win a state championship with what I've seen here tonight.
Still an injured player down for South Park over near the Iroquois sideline. And it's Andiel Zangaros, junior linebacker, 5'7", number 19 down on the field. Going to get to his feet and fortunately able to make his way. He's going to have to go all the way across the field, but under mostly his own power. 7:36 to go, fourth quarter. 58-28, a game that was 26-20 at halftime. South Park had a 6-point lead. There was a point in which it looked like they were going to be trailing going into half, and then here in the second half, they have just left no doubt because of those big guys up front you keep talking about.
Just think what would have happened if the 61-yard pass that was completed had not crossed the line of scrimmage. You're talking about a completely different game going into the halftime. I walked down and I talked to Coach Pizzanka and I said, hey, if this goes in with a minute and a half, I'm going to be talking to you before you go in. And before you know it, I'm sitting and talking with Coach. Little run.
Longest run of the night for Richard Donahue down the sideline. Donahue picks up 17 yards, and that is good for an Express Windows first down. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. So probably get it done before the...
You're going to see a little of this because right now you've got South Park putting in their young guys, and you're going to see some yards, completed here, some runs.
Yeah, you just notice the size
it's
isn't there
just
as much for
different
South
right now.
Park.
But these are big plays for these young kids. Getting out here, being part of this game, and you're still stopping them. That's awesome.
Donahue for no gain. 2nd and 10.
Jameer Taylor there again having another. He hasn't had a quiet game. He's been very consistent. He's been in a lot of tackles, probably 7-8 tackles tonight, I'd say.
I like the run game here just to prevent Kleitz from getting hit again.
I agree. At this point, you still learn. Try to get some of the clock off, mitigate the score, because Tim Delaney's not one of those guys that'll run it up on you. He'll run it.
Kleitz hit again,
Wow.
ball out again. Robinson jars it free, and it's recovered by Taylor. South Park continues just to rough up Kleitz, the outstanding quarterback for Iroquois, and he has had a long second half.
Yeah, his ability has diminished with the amount of hits he's taken. Jashad Robinson there, 5'9", 170-pound senior. You're seeing a lot of people. They're showing their depth. You're showing the depth because these guys are coming off the bench now and still providing against the starters at Iroquois. This is showing you how talented South Park is. Even with their backups in, these guys are making plays like that.
We had to fly through it because Adam Nunez is back on the field for South Park. Already 7 touchdowns here tonight, 6 on the ground, and a receiving touchdown of 80-plus yards. He lines up in the backfield here with Parsons. They have not had an answer all night long. Nunez still running hard, churns the legs, chugs forward for 6 on that first down carry. And another player down on the field, this time for Iroquois. Quickly popping up, it is Donahue, but unable to put any weight at the moment on his right leg. Katusiak comes in, number 55 for the Red Hawks, 2nd and 4. I'm running out of superlatives and adjectives and really words in my vocabulary to describe Adam Nunez, who gets the edge and near the first down, tracked down good defensive play made on the outside. Sam Donovan made the tackle, and it looks like he's going to be a half yard shy of the first.
You know, if he weighed, 155 before the game, he's in the 140s right now.
He's going to need some Bob Smokehouse after this one.
Smokehouse and the bagels and all the bread
Yeah,
that
he might need 2 or 3 lunches tomorrow when he gets back into the cafeteria.
Mamas or pierogies and fill the kid up.
3rd and 1. They go right back to him. He goes right up the middle, stumbles across midfield, lunges forward, has 7 yards, and an express windows first down.
You know, I'm going to be facetious here for a minute, but that's a disappointment. Only 7 yards on that carry.
Firth Jewelers is disappointed they didn't get another mention on what was another touchdown.
He's just a very explosive guy. But the O-line, you know, if you could give, if you can give the food as the gift, the O-line should have the barbecue sandwiches and everything they want, because they've done an amazing job today.
What does this venue mean to you? This is such a cool place to call a high school football game.
Well, again, like I said, you know, Buffalo Public School athletics was very isolated for a very long time. They played against one another, but the transition, this place shows, you know, state champions are here. Some of the best players coming out of New York State are from here. You know, some of the best players that go on to 4-year schools on scholarship are coming out of here. They all play on this field. And, you know, not to diminish what a tremendous tradition Iroquois has, but this is new. This is relatively new. But the city schools are competing with everybody.
Collins is 3-0 taped on the back of his pads right there. They're about to go to 3-0 and pick up win 100 for Tim Delaney in his prolific career. Nunez tonight complimented by Collins in the backfield. Collins picks up maybe 9 on that carry. Looks like he's just short of the first. Our truck telling us that the New York State record for rushing touchdowns in a game is 11. So Nunez very unlikely to get there. He has 7 total touchdowns tonight. The rushing record of 584, once we tabulate the results of the poll, this is like an election that's going on and on here. Once we tabulate the stats, I think he's going to be a little short of it, but we shall see. He is still toting the rock here. Scoots his way to the edge, stays in bounds, and right near another express windows first down. And they will move the sticks.
Hey, you know, you got to hand it. You know, Tim's not throwing the ball. Coach Delaney's not throwing the ball up. And he's realizing right now that even though Nunez has had a heck of a game, this entire team still has to get better. Tim Delaney's going to continue to push his guys to get better. It's an incredible game that both South Park and Iroquois put together tonight. South Park's just that much more talented.
Nunez, trouble on the snap for Parsons, will slide back on the football. What's interesting here, too, is his usage. Last year, team high 37 catches, 46 carries, about 8 yards per carry. Obviously, big play threat. They're without Brandon Simmons-Bragg tonight, who last year was their leading ball carrier. What would Nunez's role look like with that guy? He's 5'9", 190. Like, it's not completely his backfield, but after tonight, it leaves no doubt. It's just really impressive the role that he has taken on and what he's doing to make the most of what is a huge opportunity.
And I think that what you say is key is what he takes. He takes what. Look at this. I mean, this is the end of it. This is the end of the night. 2 minutes to go, and he's still churning.
Yards.
He's still churning. He's fighting for every yard, and that is the difference. What you see in South Park right now is finish. It's finish. They're not going to do anything to embarrass you. They're going to get better at their blocks, and they're going to get up on the second level. Look at where number 60 is. Look at the big guys downfield. Look at that throw at number 50. That is football, man. 2 minutes left to go. The fat guys aren't fat. They're big. They're downfield. They're knocking people out. This is great. This is why South Park is going to win a state championship, because of the O-line, if they can stay healthy. And that Nunez, he's not done. He's just getting started.
Parsons will take a knee here,
There you
and
go.
that's the mentality instilled by their head coach,
Yeah.
Tim Delaney, who you're going to talk to
Yeah.
in just a couple of minutes. Win number 100 in his career tonight on what has been a historic night for Adam Nunez. He's going to end the night, Nunez, with 7 touchdowns. And again, we'll have to tabulate the final stats for him. A game that I don't know that will be topped, that we will see. So Scott's going to head down to the field, get ready for tonight's Thursday Night Lights trophy designed by Niagara Awards. He'll present it to South Park, which improves to 3-0. Another test, though, for the Sparks. Coming up next week, they'll take on 2-0 Pioneer. Sit back, watch tomorrow night. Pioneer next Thursday. Here comes the water bucket. They know what this means for Tim Delaney. Big game tonight. And they're going to seek him out. Parsons takes a knee with 45 seconds left. There is the bath for their head coach. South Park 58, Iroquois 28. Win number 100 in the prolific career of head coach Tim Delaney as South Park. An unforgettable night, 58-28 will improve to 3-0 on the season. So the celebration is on for the Sparks, 58-28, the final score tonight. A night to remember here at All High, a facility that's seen so many great ones through the years. This one right up there with so many others. South Park improves to 3-0. Iroquois drops to 2-1. Hard-fought game from both sides. Don't go away. We'll still have a trophy presentation after the game. We'll take a look back at the defensive play of the game. Bet you can't guess who's going to win that award tonight. Player of the game will be down on the field with Scott as well. 58-28 our final. Don't go away just yet. We're not done yet here from All High Stadium. The law office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights presented by the Vinyl Outlet. We'll be right back. South Park outscores Iroquois 32-8 in the second half, wins it 58-28 between two unbeaten tonight, improves to 3-0 on the season. I know it's hard to believe at this point, but there is a Vinyl Outlet defense play of the game tonight. South Park, gaudy offensive numbers for Adam Nunez, and let's take a look at defensive play of the game.
Defense play of the game is brought to you by the Vinyl Outlet. The Vinyl Outlet. Let us transform your home.
And here it is, late in the second quarter, just when Iroquois, you thought they might have a chance to go into the locker room with the lead. Picked off by number 7, you know his name by now. And he set up his team with terrific field position. South Park never looked back. They got the ball to start the second half. Monster second half, winning it by a final score of 56-28 here tonight. They took the scoreboard off. They took the scoreboard off the screen, but 32-8 in the second half. As Scott Pilkey is down on the field, we get ready with our Niagara Awards trophy. Scott, take it away.
We're down here with Coach Tim Delaney, 100 wins, prolific coaching career here at South Park, not only as a coach, but as a former player of his school. We're happy to give you this William Matar Thursday night game winner, Coach, and what a great game you had. Congratulations to you and your team, Coach. Back up to you guys.
So they present it to Coach Delaney down there on the field, a celebration that they're going to enjoy very, very much. Already got the water bath down there on the field as well. And South Park wins it to improve to 3-0. They'll have another tough test 1 week from tonight with Pioneer on the schedule next. This has been a night to remember, a running game to remember, a game to remember. A long one tonight. So glad you've stuck with us. Our entire crew has done a terrific job here all night long, including everyone back in the truck, all our camera individuals out there on the field, especially Scott. It's been a thrill to work with the coach here over the first couple of weeks of this high school football season. Coming up, our next game, we are back with you next Thursday. Cardinal O'Hara taking the road to Milroy Park. Bishop Tiemann is on deck next, September 26th, 7 p.m. Sorry, I didn't like Scott. I'm getting a little tongue-tied at the end. But that's our next game next Thursday night. Hope you can join us next Thursday night as well. And we'll see if that one can top this one tonight. I think this one's going to be hard to top the rest of the way here in 2024. We'd like to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor partners, the Law Office of William Matar, the Vinyl Outlet, Aesthetic Associates Center, and the University at Buffalo, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. There's our final score. South Park 58, Iroquois 28 for our entire crew. I'm Brian Tripp saying so long from historic All-High Stadium. A historic night here. You've been watching the Law Office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlets.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the law offices of William Matar and the Vinyl Outlet, who through their contributions to this program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We would also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our Thursday Night Lights telecast: Aesthetic Associates, the University of Buffalo, Interstate Battery, Express Windows, Babcha Pierogi, Costanzo's Bakery, Willoughby Insurance, Firth Jewelers, T Market Plumbing, Just Pizza, and CSL Plasma. And we would especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.